Hello, everyone. Oh, what a crock of shit, eh? What a crock of shit. I'm going to do my best to not lose me rag tonight. I was, yeah. Well, look, before we get started, hello, it's Nick from Claret and Booze. As you can see, Moyes out now. I'm hoping to see that fucking statement from the club coming out now, because this guy, honestly, he has got to go now. He's got to. I lost it earlier. I've even got a hole in my top. I was going mental earlier on. Because as much as I want Moyes out, I want West Ham to win, and this guy has run out of all fucking ideas. He's right. Honestly, he's clueless. That second half was a joke. It was a joke. People are going to point to. I'm not going to listen to his. I made a point of not listening to his post-match press conference. I'm not going to, because he's going to wind me up. We're going to hear about boo-hoo, poor Moyes. We hit the post. We could have had a penalty. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't care. Do you know what? Excuses don't convert to points, Moyes. They don't, unfortunately. That's just not the way it works. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. We've been saying it for ages now. I genuinely thought, do you know what? When I saw that lineup earlier on, I thought, well, he's thrown the kitchen sink at it, first of all. How much nicer did it look to not have Thomas Suchek in the middle of the park? Great. Brilliant. Well done. But beyond that, all he did was what he always does when we come up against a team who's got a back three. We just matched him up. We matched him up. Three at the back, wing back. Fucking Soufal. Honestly, that bloke should work. He should work for fucking Herms. He couldn't cross a fucking road. He's out there all the time, whipping the ball in. He couldn't hit a barn door. He can't hit any targets at all. But he stayed on for the whole game. Kehra's been largely shit this season, but when you're playing a wing-back in a situation where he's going to be getting out there and getting the ball in, fucking use Kehra. Kehra can get a ball in. He's got more technical ability than fucking Soufal. It was just cross. No one fucking there. Crossing into the box, aimless, and he kept on throwing more people on. He brought Suchek on. So there's more big blokes in the box, but he never addressed the issue. The core of the issue is the quality of the delivery. We ain't got none. But it was mind numbing. It was. And yes, look, the way the game started, it was fine. We was on the front foot. We was on the front foot. But this is what Burnley do. Burnley, they're happy to give you the ball. And that's not to say that we weren't unlucky. Yes, we did it the post. We had a few chances. But I just felt like they was always in control. And David Moyes weren't. He didn't have no control at all. He didn't know what to do. He had no fucking clue what to do. The goals were a mess again. They were a mess. I'm not going to go through this step by step. I took notes. Fuck the notes. I don't want to go through them. I do not want to relive that game again. I'm absolutely pissed off with it. I am. This guy. How can it have gone so wrong for David Moyes at this point? I just don't know. He's lost. It's like he's because it ain't even like the players weren't trying. The players were trying today. There were some good performances out there. There were, but tactically, the guy's fucking useless. He is useless, and I know there's going to be a lot of people today. I know Gary went to the game earlier on, and at half time, because it was encouraging. It felt like they scored against a run of play. They probably did. But like I say, that is what Burnley typically do when they come up against a team that want to have the ball. They say, well, go on in, have it. Let's see what you can do. That they do what we try to do to teams, but they do it better. When we come up against a better team, we try and set a roadblock and then we try and sucker punch them. But the difference is they've always got a double-pronged attack. They're always really double threatening on the attack. It works better. It works. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking frustrating. I'm so nervous. Brentford, was it Brentford? Fucking who cares? They're all still shit, aren't they? I'm just looking in the chat now. Sorry. I'm honestly. I don't really know. I don't really know where David Moyes can go from here. I know if anyone watched his pre-match press conference, that's triggered me off. I was going to go live after that. I'm glad I didn't. He's an arrogant bastard, isn't he? I know he's got to defend himself and he's got to do this, but Jesus Christ, just him coming out when they questioned him, and I felt it was a pretty soft line of questioning, and they're saying to him, are you on the ropes? I can't remember the exact wording. And he comes out and says, yeah, well, I've got a really good relationship with David Sullivan. Your sources are wrong. I'm going nowhere. Well, I hope that's fucking wrong. I hope it's wrong because I probably should have left this a little bit longer until I calm down a bit. I do apologise for all the swearing, everyone. I will open this up a little bit so you can call in. I will open it up so you can call in because I'm going to need a little bit of help, I think, because I'm fucking all over the gaff at the minute. But it was shocking. The second half, he made no changes. Brentford, not Burnley, they made more changes than what we did. They made changes before we did. They're in the lead. They're just being proactive. He just does nothing. And he just looks shocked. He looks surprised. He's just standing there looking like, what the fuck's going on? This ain't supposed to be happening. He is so unaware of everything. It's like he had no... We set up, right, to play a high defensive line with three of the slowest fucking defenders you'll ever see. They are. I love Ogbonna, I love Dawson, and I love Cresswell. But don't fucking... They're slow. You've got to have some pace back there, some. It's a miracle we didn't get done. It was just as well that Brentford weren't... I'll call them Brentford from now on. That Brentford weren't on it from minute one. That they weren't out the blocks and they weren't getting in behind us. Because I tell you what... Hang on, sorry. My nephew's texting me now. Brentford, not Burnley. All right, I'll get it. But yeah, it was kind of... It was just such a shit performance, and we've gone out. David Moyes has gone out with a whimper, and the fact that he made that change, he took Souček out right at the very last minute because this is his last game. This better be his fucking last game. The fact that he's done that right at the last minute, he should have done that. He should have done that months ago. Why was Fabianski in there? We've got a keeper in goal as well. He was shit again today. I know he made one good save, but fuck me, he makes me look agile. He's got no movement in him at all. None. He's getting older now. I love Fabianski, but we've got like the third. Who said he's been sacked? Has he? Has he been sacked? Ooh. Are you winding me up? Hammer 89. I'm gonna have to go on Google now. 1 minute. Tell you what, Hammer 89. I fucking know. Has he been sacked? Let me have a look. He's got to go. He has to go. That has got to be it. I'm fucking fuming. Hang on. He can't have been sacked this quick. No, he ain't. You're winding me up, ain't you? All right, okay. Right, no, that's fine. Thanks for that, Hammer 89. But yeah, we've got Areola on the bench. Apparently he's like the third highest paid goalkeeper in the Premier League. What is going on? Why is Fabianski still there? I don't understand it. I really, really don't. But look, I'm going to open up the phone lines now. So if anybody does want to phone in, you can. Let me just pair it. 1 minute. Yeah, it's going to be the uncleanest fucking review match reaction ever. I am sorry. I wanted us to win that. I know probably nobody believes that. I really did. It was pathetic. It was. I was excited. When I saw the lineup, I was very unsure when I saw the back three. I thought, what's that all about? And even more unsure when I saw Soufal and Fabianski in goal. But I thought the 11 versus 11, we should have had enough to get past them. But no, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. He's just not inspiring that team. He's inspiring no one. He's not. Hang on. Sends it in towards right. Here we go. 1 minute. Hang on, Jonathan, 1 minute. Have you come on to save me, mate? Jonathan?
Mate?
Hello, mate. You all right? Oh. Jonathan?
Hello, mate. I'm here.
Sorry, mate. I can hear you now. Have you come on to save me? Because I'm fucking losing my mind on this stream.
Oh, I'm not surprised, mate. Flipping hell.
How bad, mate? It was a crock of shit, wasn't it?
That was terrible. That was fucking terrible. Oh, my God. That's like 5 in a row now. I mean, God knows. What's the stat? How many games have we won?
We've won
in the
4.
whole of 2000.
We've won 4. No, in the whole of 2000. Not many. I don't know. I haven't got that stats to hand, but it ain't many, mate.
Terrible.
It ain't many. But this
Do you know
season
what, mate?
we've won 4.
Do
Do you know Ivan Toney scored? What have we scored? 13.
12. He scored 12 goals, and we scored 13.
He scored 13
as a team.
It's ridiculous.
Now I think he scored. Oh Jesus! And I think Fulham have scored double the amount of goals we've scored.
Do you know Haaland has scored 20 goals this season?
Yeah, he's a fucking machine. Either way, it's terrible.
It's fucking not good, is it?
No, I can see it now as well. It's like, if you look at it, like they're 2-0 up, right? And they make changes before we do. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
what is that all about? Is he trying to get? Is he playing for the payoff? This is what I don't get.
There isn't really a payoff.
Mate, he can't be this shit. He can't be this useless. It was because he weren't when he first came in. He's completely fucking lost it. Because we can't say it's because the players have down tools, because the players haven't down tools. We had players running through brick walls on that pitch.
Do you know what I'm starting to think?
He's completely lost it.
I'm starting to think as well, like when he came back, because he hadn't been in the game for a while, and his style was quite dated. Right, when he came back, it was because it's so dated, it was almost new. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of like, we were playing a different type of football to most other teams, and it kind of got us somewhere. But he can't evolve. And I was looking at his age as well. You know, like how old he is, right? So you know that Postecoglou.
Yes.
He's 57.
Yeah.
Ralph Hasenhüttl, I've learned his name now. He's 55.
Hasenhüttl,
Moyes is only 59. Was it Hasenhüttl?
Yeah, yeah.
Moyes is only 59. He's not much older than these managers, but it's just his style.
It's his style of football, mate. And
like
do you know,
Everton style was
mate,
good when he first came back.
It's a stubbornness. It's a stubbornness,
yeah.
mate. How can he justify it? How can he justify not these changes that he made tonight? Okay, but look, fair enough. Yeah. Emerson, I mean, he signed one fucking duffer in corner. I'm not even going to get into him tonight. Emerson, he looked fucking useless. I don't know what he was doing, Emerson. He just after the time, he just looked like he was getting in the way down now. He had no purpose. He had no purpose at all. I don't know what he was doing. But again, it's almost like they've played this formation, but some of the players, it's like they haven't prepped for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just going to tell you what, boys, we're going to play 3 at the back today and wing backs.
We've signed all these not all these. We've signed these players, and still most of our. Oh my God! Like it's always going out to. All he did was cross the fucking ball or pretend to cross the ball tonight. It was awful. Creswell was absolutely shite.
Soufal's deliveries. His deliveries were shit. There was one moment where I think it was Ogbonna got in the box. And he was in acres of space. All he's got to do is the old Sam Allardyce thing, innit? You put it in the corridor of uncertainty, in between the goalkeeper and the players, so that our players can attack it. He stuck it behind Ogbonna. So he's fucking doubled up. The deliveries were shit. So even when he's hitting people, it's not the right... mate, He's
done now. No, he's done. He's done. Like I said, I don't hate Moyes or anything like that. I'll look back on it and I'll be like, look, when he was... At times or whatever, he's achieved. He did a really good job for a certain period of time, but it's come to an end now. Surely, I mean, fuck me.
It's got to have come to an end. They can't keep him now. It is not. No. It's not allowed. Look, guys, I know Barney's just said there, Nick, I love your passion. Mate, I am sorry. I probably should have left it another 15, 20 minutes before I come on. I will calm down. I'll level out a little bit. I normally do.
Entertaining, mate. Why have you got to calm down?
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing. He's so frustrating because we said it on the show the other day. It feels like David Moyes has done this himself. It does. It feels like it's been completely avoidable. And, he's been fucking stubborn. Look, someone said here, we'll win at Leeds. So what? I don't care if we win at Leeds. It doesn't matter.
No, not anymore.
It doesn't matter now. We can't waste any more games. We've now got 3-6. You're talking about Leeds. We've got 3 6-pointers coming up. If we lose them, so you've got Leeds, you've got Leeds, Wolves, and Everton. We fuck them up. We're in serious shit.
Look, it's unlikely to happen, but if the teams below us win this weekend because they've got a game in hand, we're 20th.
Yeah. Oh no.
We're fucking 20th.
I know.
Fucking rooted at the bottom of the table. I don't think any team. It's January, for God's sake. Fuck me. This is absolutely terrible. This is terrible.
I know.
He's been out-thought again by a progressive manager.
Outthought, outthought and outfought. That's what.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
everything.
Because like I say, Thomas Frank today, he just looked so relaxed. Even when we was kind of in the ascendancy, he didn't look rattled at all. He didn't.
But he had his notepad. Did you notice he had his notepad?
Yeah,
he's all over it tactically. Same as the way Graham Potter does. He can't beat these guys. The thing about Moyes now is, where do we go? He can't beat the top six. We know that.
No.
Fact. He can't beat managers like Thomas Frank, Graham Potter, even Ralph Hasenhuttl last year.
That's easy for you to say.
No, he was. He was. Anyone who's got a little bit of nous about them, you can't beat them. So this is why This is why we are where we are.
Mate, honestly, there is a ridiculous stat going around. I haven't got it to hand now because we've done it on previous shows. I'm not thinking properly at the moment, but it's something ridiculous. Like I think it's like every team that we've beat. I think it was in 2022. They've ended up not this season, obviously, but last year they were relegated towards the end of last season. It was Norwich. Mate. Honestly, we don't beat anyone of note anymore.
And also, if you look at the games you've won, look at the Aston Villa game this year. That was absolutely fucking awful. We won by a deflected goal in the 85th minute or something like this, wasn't it? 80th minute. I don't know. It was 4-0. It was awful.
Yeah, but who comes in now? Because this is a worry, right? Because I think we can all agree universally, apart from one or two. Well, I'm not going to say one or two people. I don't want to say that I'm speaking for an old fucking fan base. But I personally couldn't understand anyone now at this point that would say, "No, I'm still Moyes in." I physically can't understand it. If that is your feeling, you're entitled to it. I don't get it, but if that's where you are, that's fine.
Now. You can't now. No, you can't now. Like, look, if we'd you can't now. And do you know what's even worse? Oh, gee, we just had 6 weeks. We just had 6 weeks,
mate,
to fucking sort this out.
Mate, I know.
Fucking hell.
Mate, I was so angry. Apparently, I was calling Brentford Burnley for the first 10 minutes of this show.
Oh, were you doing the watch along? Yeah.
No. When I first went live, yeah. No, I know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm, and the worst. I can't believe it.
Fucking! I want him out of the. I want him out of the club. I want him out as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah,
it's rotten, and you know, credit to Benny. How good was Benny? Do you know what? I'm going to say there were a few good performances
lovely
tonight.
Touches.
He has got lovely touches, but Benny was good tonight. I thought Rice. I know I've had criticism of Rice.
First half, he was excellent.
Rice was good today, but Dawson, my God, what a man. He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable, really. The rest of it, I mean,
he was really good.
Cresswell, what a fucking car crash he was today, wasn't he?
Cresswell was terrible today, man.
For that second goal, what was that all about? I know the guy's got more pace in him, but he just got bodied off the ball. With all due respect,
he got bullied.
Yeah,
go on.
He just got bullied, mate. But anyway, go on.
Look at his corner as well. Go on.
Oh, mate, what in the first half?
No, the second half. He hit a corner out of play, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure it happened in the first half, didn't it? Because we was 1-0 down, and they went short on a corner. So we've got all the big blokes going forward. You know, one of our main threats is set pieces, and they go short on a corner. Nothing pisses me off.
I know. Do you know what makes you laugh as well? Creswell's got a decent cross, and Sufal hasn't. But Sufal takes his crosses early, and Creswell fucks about with the ball on the left bit, passing it around, but he doesn't cross the ball. He waits for everyone to be marked.
I know,
and then he crosses it.
There's a lot of people
talking about the managers.
Yeah, go on. So let's assume he's gone. What happened?
Yeah.
What do you think happens next? What do you think happens next? Do you think it is going to be? Do you think they've got anyone else lined up, or do you think it's going to be a makeshift caretaker that comes in? You know, like Mark Noble, Nolan, Warburton.
We've got to look who's available, right? So I'm not saying I want these people. I'm just going to list a few people that I know are available. So you've got Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
You've got Ralph Hasenhuttl. You've got flipping. Who's the other one who's available? Obviously, we're not getting Tuchel and Pochettino now. That was pre-World Cup, I think.
No.
I think that was pre-World Cup. They're not going to come in and manage a team that are 20th in the league.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think you could, because I said on the show the other day. So Pochettino and Tuchel, I'm not saying you could get him on a 3 or a 4 year deal.
Not Tuchel.
No,
maybe Pochettino.
But I'm not saying you could get him on a 3 or a 4 year deal. But I think those guys will have enough belief in their own ability. They'll look at West Ham. They'll look at the other teams down the bottom. They'll look at our squad. Yeah. And you would like to think they'll look at that and go, do you know what? I'll fucking get them out of that. No problem. They can win win a cup on the way as well. What else are they doing for 6 months?
But,
do you know what I mean?
No, I get that. I get that. Maybe we'll have to see. But who's the other one? No. No. This is not. Again, these are not people I want.
Yes.
I'm thinking about if you're looking at an interim.
Yeah.
For 6 months, right? I'm not saying I want him, but I could possibly see Rafa Benitez for 6 months coming in and just looking after the team. It won't be pretty again. I know that he's not exactly an exciting manager, but he's managed a lot better players than Moyes has.
There's a lot of people in the chat, and this is a manager. I'll be honest with you, I don't actually know who he is. There's a lot of so if anybody, I'll put the number up in a minute. So once we're done on this call, if anybody that does know anything about this guy wants to come on and tell us about him, Domenico Tedesco, do you know who that is?
No, I never heard of him. Was he?
No, never heard of him.
Managed Portugal.
I don't know. No. There's quite a few people mentioning him, so he's not somebody I don't know who the guy is.
I mean, there's Postecoglou as well, but he's doing well. It's difficult unless your name's Brendan Rodgers for someone to leave a club halfway through the season. A lot of managers don't do that, do they?
No.
Well, they will for a really big club. I don't know. We need a change now.
We do.
If we're going to recruit internally, which one would you? I mean, we haven't really got anyone. It's only Warburton,
I don't want anyone internally because I think the coaching staff.
Take us down.
It's not that. Yeah. David Moyes, he's got to go. But you know something? All of them, that coaching staff, they're all culpable as well, as far as I'm concerned.
And where is Warburton?
None of them have helped. None of them have helped.
No. It's terrible.
So hopefully when he goes, he fucking takes them with him because and we can start again. You know, I think they've all got to go. But there's a lot of people that are going to say Warburton will be interim manager. I mean, look, he is a manager. So
but he could take us down. I mean, we really are. We'll be looking at going down. Then, could you imagine we're bringing in he's a championship manager. That's really what he is. And he didn't. I don't think he's even taken a championship team up, has he? He's got to the playoffs a few times.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what was proved today? I think what was proved today, you can't just throw a load of players on the pitch and hope for the best, because I think that's what David Moyes did. I think he threw, he put everyone in I suppose the right positions that we would ask him to. It didn't work. We've still got weaknesses fucking everywhere that can be exploited. So I do think that we're going to need somebody to come in that has got some tactical nous as well. Tactical, sorry. They've got to have something about them. It isn't going to be a case of. Go on.
I'd like the Hassan to whatever his bloody name is. I quite like him. I think he's tactically really good.
Yeah.
He's got a completely different vibe to David Moyes. I think that Southampton had an awful transfer window. Awful. They just signed a load of young players, which is kind of exciting, but it's exciting in a way because they bought a load of good young players, but it doesn't work. Aston Villa did that a few years ago.
Yeah.
You have to have a mix. I wouldn't mind him, someone like him.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't be my choice, but at this moment in time, mate, I want him gone. I want that announcement to come. I'm fed up.
Do you know what we should do?
I'm fucked off talking about David Moyes. I really am. People won't believe it because it has become a bit of an obsession. Yes, it has. I want him out of the club.
Do you know
I've had enough of it.
They could offer somebody 6 months, right?
Yes.
With an option on both sides for another 2 years or something, depending on how we go at the end of the year.
Well, the issue is the club sale, which they've kind of, they've made common knowledge via the usual sources. So that being the case, I find it unlikely that they're going to go out and get a manager on a 5-year deal because whenever
that's what I mean. So maybe 6 months,
a 6 month deal. A 6 month deal.
Do you know what, mate? It will be typical of West Ham to finish 6th, finish 7th, get a new investor. Yeah, be the 4th biggest selling. Have this stadium 62,000.
Oh,
and
mate,
then fucking relegated.
Please tell me this. Please tell me this ain't true. I can't pronounce your tag, mate, but something gaming. A load of letters and he's basically said, I'm not bullshitting you, but apparently Moyes said we played well. We played really well in the first half. We played well in the second half, and we got sucker punched by 2 throw-ins. Oh, mate,
he would say that.
Fucking deluded.
He would say that. That does sound like a kind of thing you'd say, actually, to be fair.
I know. Garino says that we're more likely to get David Hasselhoff with David Sullivan. I mean, look, this is the other concern now. Now I think that although he's not gone, he hasn't officially gone yet. You can only imagine that they're going to go upstairs. They're going to, nobody is going to be happy with this. 5 consecutive defeats. And they've been shit as well. It ain't like we've been beat by Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. No,
we're losing to fucking teams that we shouldn't be losing to these teams.
I know. He's
Do you
got
know
to.
what? I deluded myself. I should have known after that Brighton game earlier in the year.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from us. Well, not ever seen. I'm sure we've been better, but it was awful what happened in that game. I should have known then. He's had 6 weeks. Yeah, I think Gio said this on Hammer's chat today. He's had 6 weeks to come up with some ideas, and this is what we've got.
Mate, it's unforgivable, and like I said to you before, do you know he complains about we've got 8 new players, we've got to bed them in, we've got to create a team. Well, while all the other teams in the Premier League who were probably not in that type of situation, not as bad as us, were away on warm weather training. We were sending our boys on holidays with their families. That's 6 weeks training. I said it earlier on in the video. That should have been for team building. It should have been a team holiday. Take all the ones that hadn't gone to the World Cup away. Go for a couple of meals, go for a couple of nights out. Make a team. Get them involved with each other. That type of thing there. But he did fuck all. He did nothing. And then you saw. There were no changes. I know we saw a change in formation today. Big whoop. It's his standard plan B is to go to the back three. He does that.
It's either 4-2-3-1. It's either 4-2-3-1 or it's 3-5, whatever it is.
Yeah, there's nothing.
5-2 fucking.
There's nothing different there. I'm going to put a poll in the chat anyway because someone's just asked me to. So hang on, Jonathan. So
do you want to crack on because you've probably got a lot of callers that want to call in.
Yeah,
anyway,
go on, mate. Thank you very much for calling in. So I have got one more. I'm gonna phone back before I put the number up, and then I'll because he's texted me and he's got my number.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Popular show, mate. That's the reason why.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for having me. I'll speak to you again soon, properly. Yeah, whatever. The next time you do a proper live with everyone. So
top man.
All right then, mate.
Cheers, Jonathan. Thanks,
care,
mate. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Right. 1 second. I'm just going to make a phone call. Where are we? Let's call Taz. I hope you can all. Can you all hear that?
You're all right, Nick.
Hello, Taz. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. I'm quite happy,
Why are you happy?
Because we lost.
Oh, really?
It's one of them final nails in the coffin of Moyes going. He's got to go.
Oh, no. But that's the thing.
I'm pissed off.
I still get pissed off. We got beat by Brentford. We got beat by Brentford at home, though. It fucks me off.
I know. But we need this to happen to get rid of the fucking cancer in our club.
Yeah, I know.
I know what, I'm not happy. Of course I'm not happy, but I'm happy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he's got to go. He's just got to go. He can change up the team all he wants. He's doing the same old shit week in, week out.
Mate, what was today all about? I mean, that second half, honestly, it was
fucking diabolical.
It was like a deer caught in the headlights, wasn't he? He really fucking was. The fact that
Did you see his face with the second goal?
Yeah.
He was like, well, how did that happen?
I know.
That's not meant to happen.
Well, he always looks confused. He always looks like I don't know, mate. I am sick to death of moaning about him, of watching his shit football. Even look, someone said there, what time will the announcement be? Fuck, I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. He's got to go. I mean, can you imagine if they will look ridiculous. I mean, let's look at the ball now, Taz, because the fact of the matter is, if this is all it took, if all it took was for David Moyes to lose to Arsenal and then lose to Brentford for them to sack him, then what the fuck were they doing? What were they doing?
Arsenal. The loss against Arsenal, he should have gone then.
No, but
he should have gone before the World Cup.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. So how fucking stupid are they going to look? How stupid are they going to look?
How stupid do our board look year in, year out, no matter who owns us? When it was Terence Brown, the same fucking shit went on. When it was the fucking the Greenland lot, the banking lot, same shit, different year. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, listen, you got to fucking step up and say, this is enough.
You have, mate.
This is what we're going to do. Fuck off now. You fucked up. Go. I don't care about last 2 years. Last 2 years is last 2 years. That don't count for this year.
But the thing is, people keep saying that. People keep saying the same thing, right? They keep saying the same thing, and that is, you've got to stick with him. You've got to stick with the manager.
Why?
Look at what he's done.
Why?
He's the
Why
best.
apparently
He's the best manager in our history. Some people have been saying They're still saying that now. Now
not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I'll just. You've got to look at the
Hang
here
on,
and
hang
now.
on,
You've got to
hang
look at the here
on.
and
We
now.
won the cup
He's
in,
going to get
what
us
was it,
fucking. He's
80
going to get us relegated.
Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. If they stick with him, we're done for. We're done for. If they stick with him, we're done for.
Oh, mate.
Now, at the end of the day, right, the board's fucked up. I've said this on many a fucking West Ham channel, right? When the World Cup come, they should have got rid of him. They had 3 weeks to find a manager and then 3 weeks for that new manager to work with the players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he had there, that the others that are on, there was only a few away on World Cup duty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. But they had 3 weeks to sort of like say, right, go, fuck off. Right, let's put someone in place. You've got 3 weeks now. Let's say it was 3 weeks that they took to get a new manager in.
Yeah.
He had 3 weeks to fucking say, hey, guys, I'm the new manager. This is what I want to do. Let's try and get this confidence build up again because I've seen you over the last couple of years. You're much better than what you're being right now.
Yeah.
Something's wrong, and I need to get your confidence up. The whole thing is confidence. None of them have got confidence anymore. Why did we buy Areola?
I mean, Trini's saying there, and this is true. I mean, according to the stats, we did smash them, so I can see why Moyes thinks that we played well because we had 20 shots, but only 5 of them were on target.
At the end of the day, you can play fucking well, but at the end of the game, what matters is it? Oh yeah, we played well. No, we got battered.
Yeah,
it don't matter how you fucking play. At the end of the day, the result is what counts.
It is, mate.
Playing well don't give you points on the fucking table.
No, I know, mate.
It's sort of like winning a game. It's winning the fucking game. No matter how you do it, you win the fucking game.
Do you think he's gone? Do you think he's gone now?
Personally, no. Because I don't think the board's got the guts. But I want him gone.
Mate,
that's why I'm happy about losing tonight, because I'm not happy about it, but I want it to be the final nail in the coffin. The board have got to look at themselves and say, listen, we gave him 3 games. Yeah. He's lost 2. If we fucking win against Leeds next week or whatever, they cannot give an extended time on that shit.
No.
Everything's gone to fucking pot. If the board don't see it, we're fucked. We're relegated. End of story.
I think he will. I think they will. I think they're going to act, mate. I've got to be honest with you.
Tomorrow morning,
I personally
want to see headlines saying that David Moyes has been sacked as West Ham manager. I don't care if Warburton takes over for the rest of the season. Do you know what? He's an attacking manager. Yes, he's only Championship, but do you know what? He might revitalise the players to say, "Come on, boys, you're better than this. I've been working for you, like with you, for this long. Come on, let's get something going. Let's galvanise together and fucking get something out of this." And I think it's going to be a whole new spectrum of sort of like, that fucking cunt's gone now. Let's fucking fight for this.
Yeah.
We need to fight for our status. Declan Rice against Arsenal, throwing his arms around, giving it all this, that and the other.
I agree,
having
mate.
About players. What's he saying? Oh, you're putting my fucking value down. Well, fuck you.
No, I know,
if
mate.
If you're not gonna fight for the club, right? There's loads of pictures that go around of him kissing the badge. Well, fucking fight for it.
I mean, look. I can understand him being frustrated. Don't get me wrong. I can understand him getting fucked off with the level of player that he's playing with and the tactics. But he's meant to be a captain.
Man the fucking shit on the fucking pitch.
He is, mate. He is.
How can you have a go at players when you're fucking up yourself?
No, I agree. No, you're 100% right. But anyway,
Do you know what I mean? How can you fucking lose your noddle over players fucking up when you're fucking up yourself?
No, I agree.
I know it's not all down to Rice, but for fuck's sake, man up, fucking get your team going, get them driven, and then fucking get going. But at the end of the day, it's sort of like all this is down to Moyes. Even fucking if Rice is losing his mind over it, come on, there's something wrong in that team, and it's not the players, it's the fucking manager.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows that now. Most people do, even those that are. Well, no, look, I think those that were genuinely Moyes in, I think they're you know, I can understand it. I think because everyone's got a different tipping point. Everyone has, you know. It's you've only got to look in this channel. I went first because I've got no patience. And then Gary went. You know, he probably went a few months later. And then John was last. He was last to go. And it's the thing. It isn't personal. It's just that I think some people just, I don't know. I think maybe they've just got such a fucking. They're grateful to him. They're great, and I get it. I do get it. Listen, you can't not be grateful. You can't not be grateful to him. But enough is enough.
What he did over the
Enough
last
is
couple
enough.
of years, but for fuck's sake, if you can't fucking carry on with what you're doing, then sorry, mate, it's time for you to move on.
Yeah, no,
if you want to stand still, you're not moving backwards. But if you're going to stand still, everyone around you's going to move forward. Standing still isn't going backwards, but in its own right, you're going backwards because you're not moving.
I know, mate. Anyway, Taz, I'm going to let you go, mate, because I've got about 3 or 4 more people that want to call. Thank you very much for the passionate phone call. All right, cheers for that, mate.
All right, speak later.
Cheers, Taz.
Bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye. Right, let's give Gary a call. Right, 1 minute. Hang on. Here's a voice that you're all going to be familiar with.
Right, cool. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Gary. How are you, mate?
You all right, mate?
Yes, Gary, can you hear me?
Just, Nick, let me call you back because my phone's a bit funny. I'll call you back right away. Straight 2 seconds, all right?
Go on, mate. Right, okay. Yeah, well, emotions are running high at the minute. I mean, the fucking chat is going mental.
Gary, C&B Romford.
Hang on. Gary. Hello? Gary, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me? Oh, it's going to be one of them calls, isn't it? Hello, Gary. Gary, I'll call you back. Right, I'll try this the last time. He's probably on his way back from the game. 1 minute. Where are we? Here we go. Last try for Gary.
Hi, it's Gary Pickley.
No, that's not working. Okay, right. What I'll do if anybody does want to call in, I've got Dave Trevitt as well. I can try Dave, but he said his phone's about to die. Hello, Dave.
No, that's not working.
Hello, Dave. You all right, mate?
Want to call in? I've got Dave Trevitt as well. I can
Dave?
try Dave, but he said his phone's about to die.
You just called me, Nick. I'm here.
I know. Are you all right? You're on the show, mate.
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, well, I've been there.
Hello, Dave. You all right, mate?
What is going on with the calls?
I've got Dave Trevitt as well. Dave.
Hang on. Hello, Gary. This is a fucking nightmare. What's going on with these phone calls? Can you hear me now? Hello, Gary. Gary, can you hear me?
Yes, mate. How are you?
All right, no worries, mate. Give us a minute. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to add you back onto the right. Just can't get the staff, can you? Right, sorry. 1 minute, people. Just going to get Gary back on to this device. Right, Gary, can you hear me? Gary?
Yes, mate.
There you are. Right, fan-fucking-tastic.
Nick, you've got to calm down.
Oh, mate, I know.
Nick, I tell you what, if anything's the indictment against Moyes, the biggest thing tonight was that second goal, Aaron Creswell. He had about 5 yards on the bloke.
I know.
And I've been saying for weeks here, why not play Ben Johnson at left back? He's a much better defender. He's quicker, you know, and he still played him again tonight. He still does it. I didn't like the wing back system either. I don't know why he just didn't play a back four and put Fornells in there as well, or even gone with Antonio with Scamak and gone for it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've taken some chances tonight. I mean, it's just, but it's 5 defeats in a row now, and the thing is, you just had a chat just now with the other lad on the phone. The thing is now, Nick, if they sack him tonight, then this whole 6 weeks thing, it makes them look a bit stupid, doesn't it?
They're going to look like fucking idiots. That's what they're going to look like.
Yeah, no one expects us to beat Arsenal. And if that's the case, they're giving him one game in respect, really. And I can't just get anything that leads on Wednesday. The trouble is also, it's funny little when you are on doing a bad run, even the little things, a little bit of luck, you hit the post and off the line, these little things go against you. But obviously, Moyes has got to go now. He's got
to go. I mean, look, there's no doubt in the first 25 minutes looked promising. We was on the ball, we was pressing them, we was creating chances. We did hit the post, we did. But the fact of the matter is, mate, like I said to you, I just had that feeling. If you Thomas Frank never looked like he was rattled. I think they were always in control. They were. Brentford allow you the ball. They're used to it.
Yeah.
They're used to having.
Yeah.
It's what they do, and they've got a good counter attack with Embuemo and Tony and the other guy they brought on, Wissa.
He brought a Bonner in tonight, which I said to you last week, because of Tony. You've got to play with Bonner. He left Kira out, which is the right thing he done, but he still plays Creswell. Even Ariola surely got to come in. He's making some changes, but he doesn't go all the way. Creswell, I don't know what Moyes is actually watching sometimes, Nick. You can see tonight he's clearly outpaced. He's too slow now, and he shouldn't be our left back. If he can't play Emerson in the back four,
he seems to have
play Johnson.
He seems to have no awareness of anything. He seems to have no awareness of the fans' feelings. He seems to have no awareness of his fucking of the weaknesses in his team. He seems. If you have a look, look, fair enough. He dropped Souček today, but how could he not? His stats in that last game. He plays in the middle of the park, midfield. He had a 43% pass success rate, and he only played fucking eight passes or something like that. It was ridiculous. Honestly,
47% success rate. The thing is, when have we ever won a game playing three at the back with wing back? I can't ever think of a game we've actually won playing that way. To be truthful with you,
no.
We seem to lose every single time we play that way. But he could have got Ben Johnson sitting on the bench. Why is he not playing Johnson instead of Creswell, Nick?
He has got form for he's got form for matching up against opposition that play a player back three. He does it all the fucking time. Wouldn't it be nice just once for David Moyes to force, especially at home, force the opposition to change their tactics? But no, he knows that Brentford play back three, so he goes, you know what, we'll play back three and all. I know we don't play like that every week, but that's what we do. We'll play back three, same as him. Why not force him to make...
He could just stuck Antonio on tonight with Samaka and just gone for it, attack. Because and then just I would have done that personally. I wouldn't have. As soon as I saw the wing back, I thought, oh, here we go. It's just not. It doesn't work for us really. The only good thing we got is Zuma apparently is fit, but he just had a bit of a virus, and Gerd is on the bench, so hopefully we'll get them two back in, and then it's just Cornet who's not available. But you can't lose 5 games in a row in the Premier League. Actually 5 defeats. Is it 6 from 7? And they've lost now. That's relegation form, Nick, in anyone's eyes.
It is, mate. It is. No, it's definitively relegation form. If you look at where we are now, we're on what we is it 16 or 17 games now? We're on 14 points.
I know.
Honestly,
Pellegrini's run, isn't it?
Honestly,
yeah.
I know.
I just don't know. Sometimes you got 60,000 West Ham fans, and most West Ham fans that come onto YouTube, and every one of them has said that the weakness is Souček. At last tonight, he dropped him. Fair enough. How long's it taken him? But he's still got Creswell in there. What is he watching?
Mate, I don't know.
Goal tonight, all your arguments in the world, put it to one side. When you see that second goal tonight, that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Because if that had been Johnson now, he wouldn't have got knocked off like that. He's quicker than Creswell. He would have cleared that.
I know.
But so what is he watching? What can't he see that we can?
Mate, honestly,
and he's getting paid millions of pounds for this, Nick. And you can see it, I can see it. Well, there's probably thousands of fans.
We've run a poll. We've done a Moyes out poll on the chat. 372 votes. 89% are Moyes out. The 11% are the Arsenal fans that are trolling us in the chat. The bastards that found us after the last game. There's 11% that are saying no. 89% are saying yes.
Nick, when you think back, right, the last 2 years, I think maybe it was 2 seasons ago, finished above Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Last season, I think we would have finished above them both if we wasn't in the Europa League.
Yeah.
But when you see Arsenal now, to us, a million miles apart. We've gone backwards so much.
Mate, they came in the same time. I know. Listen, you could say, and it's a fair argument. Okay, Arteta had a better starting point than what Moyes did. Yes, he did, but ultimately they're both. I think Moyes has spent more Moyes has spent more, and that's without factoring in the money that we've fucking hemorrhaged on players that David Moyes just basically refused to work with and fucked off for no money, like Haller and Anderson. He came in, well, they're not my players. I'm not doing nothing with them. They're shit. Get rid of them. Haller, 18 months we had him. We lost 25 million on him. When you come into a club, you have to adopt their assets, and your job is to try and maximise everything that you've already got. You know, and a crazy thing is, we went 18 months without a striker after Haller, and he's gone out, and it looks like he's bought a mirror image of him in Scamacca. He's a very similar player. I know he's not the same, but he in half similar, mate, to Haller.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bizarre, mate. He's got to go. I can't keep doing these shows. I don't want to keep on talking about him all the time.
No,
I don't.
No. Nick, we shouldn't be talking about it. It should have happened by now. I mean,
I know.
I don't know. The thing is, we've got to be careful here because you hear some other fans say, "Oh, no, West Ham won't go down too good." You know, I heard that in 2003.
We're not too good, mate. And, I'll tell you what, we definitely ain't too fucking good to go down this season.
Not now, no. And it only wants us this weekend, the other results now, to cut and go against us, which, I mean, you know, it can happen, and you're in the bottom three. We're just, you know, they're playing a very dangerous game.
And the issue is, mate, when you're in that bottom three, especially when it goes, when it gets more towards the end of the season, right? Once you're actually in there, it's all right if you're level on points with 17th or whatever else. But if you're 3 to 6 points away from 17th, do you know what? You might go and grab a great win. Every other fucker will win as well. You almost start to find it impossible to climb out once you're in that situation. You don't want to drop into it. And that's the thing. People were saying before the break, they were saying, oh, look up. We're only fucking 6 points from 8th place. Well, I'm not being funny. After we've done Leeds, Wolves and Everton, we could be 6 points from 17th.
And have you seen the 3 games after them?
No, I know. I don't even want to think about it. Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle. I know.
3 games, Leeds, they kind of thought. I mean, I was watching Amos chat with Gonzo and Gio, and they were saying about would he get sacked after tonight? And
I didn't get to see that tonight.
He would.
Yeah.
No, and Gio thinks he'll still be there for the Leeds game. He's got a funny feeling. He said, you know, but I think there'd be a ball meeting tonight. You know, but I don't think they can get this going any longer because it's going to be tough at Leeds. I mean, I know they've got beat themselves, but if we lose, you know, we've got the Wolves and Everton games coming up as well. I think Lampard's on very close to getting gone. But see, these teams are changing their managers, which is putting them in advantage over us, really, Nick.
Right, I've had a follow-on. Did you watch the show the other night, the phone-in? Did you watch it to the end?
Yes.
Right, did you see the text messages I got from David Moyes? Right, well, he's texted me. I should phone him back really, but I'm not going to because obviously it's not David Moyes. I know that. But to recap, right, the other night when we was doing this show, I got a text message from David Moyes saying, first of all, right, I want my say. You haven't a clue about football, and I'm fed up of you ranting and blackening my name. The majority of supporters understand I've got injury problems for starters, and I'm one of the best managers in the Premier League. Regards, David Moyes. Then he followed that up with, "It's too late for me now. I've got training in the morning and to work on one of my many systems to beat Brentford. I'll watch this show after our 4-0 win. Regards, David Moyes." Right, today he's just texted me back. "Sorry, lads. I'll change the system as requested. Benny was at fault again. We have to dust ourselves off, dust ourselves down and go again. Have a good evening." And he's gone on. He said, "Here you go again, blaming me and not the players. It's not my fault. It's all them. I'll tell him to attack, but they won't."
Even if it was David Moyes in real life,
it'd be just like him, wouldn't it? It would be him.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it, but you know, whether we know what we're talking about or not, and we're all experts, as you said. But the fact is, what you don't need to be an expert to see that Souček should have been dropped a long time ago.
Exactly.
And shouldn't be anywhere near that. Cresswell shouldn't be anywhere near that team now, Nick.
No, not now.
It shouldn't be anywhere. And if 60,000 West Ham fans can see it week in and week out, why can't he?
This is a thing, right? We've got Mancunian Hammer. Right, this is actually someone who I'd like to hear from a little bit. I'm trying to keep track. I'm trying to talk and keep because the chat is going mental tonight. But I've seen Mancunian Hammer. I don't want to call you out, mate, or anything. But I know that you're quite a staunch Moyes in supporter. So Mancunian Hammer, where are you now? Are you now? Have you flipped now? Have you gone the other way? Have you seen enough, or are you still kind of Moyes in? Do you think that we should keep hold of him? Like I say, I'm not calling you out, by the way. I'd like to just to gauge it because I know that you are staunchly Moyes in if you are that same person. I think you are. But so Gary, for you now, let's assume that David Moyes is gone. Let's assume that he's gone. Who comes in? Who comes in next?
I don't know. I mean, in an ideal world, Pochettino or Tuchel, I'm not saying long term, but you could say, look, come into the end of the season and pay them a lot of money, and then say, end of the season, review it. And if they get into the job, and we win the Europa League conference and we're back in the Europa League, who knows? But if we can't get those, I don't know. I mean, do you go for Warburton? To be honest, I think it's got to the point where virtually almost anyone you bought in couldn't do worse than this. This is terrible form.
No, I know.
I mean, you look at what
you can't, mate. We can't go backwards. This is the thing. People might say, "Oh, be careful what you wish for." Well, that's not an argument anymore. It's literally not an argument.
Nick, it's 3 points and 21.
I know.
It's 3 points and 21. That's the reality. And even the most staunch Moyes fan there, what I would say to him is, if you don't want Moyes to go, how much would you give him? That's what I like to know. Where's the breaking point with it?
All right. So Mancunian Hammer, he's come out and he said, Moyes out for me now. Although I do think the team, particularly the defence, is awful. And it's not just a case of Moyes being inept, but he has to take responsibility. Yeah, no, that's right. That's right, mate. And they're not getting off scot-free. Like I say, we'll do the player ratings and all that tomorrow. I don't know. I don't even know whether we have to be honest.
I think Dawson's picked his game up the last couple of games, Nick. Dawson's looked half decent, hasn't he, going forward? We looked a bit more of a threat on set pieces tonight. But we get Zuma back in and again. But the problem is, Nick, it's like getting defenders in, but that's not really the problem. It's the scoring the goals.
No, I know.
I mean, we scored
look, we did have chances again tonight, but we're not clinical.
Goals. I mean, this is what I'm saying to you. Go through the fixtures this year, Nick. Look at how many games we've failed to score at all.
I know.
And we've lost a lot of games, but we lost a lot of games by the odd goal. I mean, we don't get thrashed under Moyes. We don't let in 4, 5, 6s. We don't do that, but we're just not scoring at all.
I know.
And again tonight we haven't scored. Leicester at home, we haven't scored. Go through the fixtures through the season. How many games have we not scored in?
It's been embarrassing, mate. It's been an embarrassing camp. It's been an embarrassing year, and that's the thing. Because I went quite soon. I went quite soon.
Yeah, I know you did. I know.
So I went after Everton. And a lot of people were saying at that point I was knee jerking. For me, it weren't knee jerking because what I expected to see. I weren't happy at the end of last season. I really was not fucking happy at the end of last season. And all I saw at the start of this season was a continuation of that. That's all I saw. And I thought, fuck me, we're not going to change anything here. Nothing's going to change, and it's going to get worse. We've got all these new players coming into a failing team. And like I said, look, it could and it should have gone differently because I do still say this now. I think this was avoidable for Moyes, but he's such a stubborn bastard. To keep on, he can't be as useless. He can't be as useless as he's appeared in the past year in the league.
We said before, the biggest point for West Ham's history in the last years, and in years to come, we will look back on this, and we discussed it before, so I won't keep going over it.
Yeah.
The last transfer window, we bought no players at all, and then now he's got to bring in 8. If he'd have spread it out a bit more. I know some people say, well, players weren't available. You could have got some players in. We could have won that Europa League last season. And we would have been in the Champions League now instead of the conference.
I know. Well, Frankfurt did. Frankfurt went out and got a few players, and look, they went on and won it.
I mean, the trouble is now, it's gone on too long now. And if the ball don't act now, I mean, if they leave it to Wednesday, we lose again.
Yeah.
Then what? You go into the Everton Wolves games, they're massive games.
I know.
I just don't know what they're thinking, to be true with you. At the end of the day, it's their money in this. If they want to sell the club, surely they want to sell a Premier League club.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. Nigel's where is he? Nigel's come back. Where is it? Try and find it. Right. So Nigel has said he's not being sacked tonight if anyone is hopeful. So
no. It might be the 3 games.
Fucking unbelievable.
But Nick, it doesn't make sense because I heard he had to get 5 points from 3. Well, he can't do that now because he's got no points from 2 games.
Even if he beats Leeds,
if you get a point at Leeds, 1 point from 9.
I know.
What's the point of waiting? Because the thing is, if we say we lose at Leeds on Wednesday, and then you don't get results against Everton and Wolves, then you've got to play Newcastle, Chelsea and Tottenham.
Do you know something? I'm going to say this now, and I'm not saying this because I want it to happen, because I fucking don't. But David Sullivan, if you stick with him now, Do you know something? There's a part of me that thinks you fucking deserve your investment to go down the fucking toilet, mate. You deserve it to go down the toilet because that's what will happen. 3 6-pointers on the spin coming up. We lose them, we are bang in that. And we've got a team that ain't up for a fight. We're going to be balls deep in a relegation fight, and we've got a team that are not up for it. So do you know what, Sullivan? I tell you what, if you don't pull your finger out of your arse, mate, if that is true, he's fucking get him out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see us, like, in all honesty, how it is at the moment, I don't see us getting a win at Leeds or Wolves. I mean, maybe a draw from one of them, perhaps. That ain't no good. That's another 1 point maybe from the next 2 games. Then you've got them 3 tough games coming up, and then you're in real trouble then. You really are. You know, even another manager coming, he's got his work cut out. Because once you lose the games, Nick, it becomes a habit.
I'll tell you what, we've got to talk about something that I've been avoiding tonight as well, because I like him, and I still think he's going to be a very good player for us with the right manager.
Yeah.
Paqueta was shit, wasn't
he? Yeah. Well, I said to you before, he was. Do you know what? Technically, he's a very good player.
Yeah.
Technically, but in the Premier League, he doesn't really do like damage to teams. Like you don't see like defence splitting passes. He's a sort of player that would look good in probably a really good side like Manchester City, something like that.
Yeah.
Or even Arsenal. But in our team, I don't think he was really what we needed. I just think we need some young blood in the team, you know, get some legs in there. I've said to you before, I like Gallagher. I think Gallagher in the midfield would be good for us. Brogue, I know he's injured. I think Brogue would have been a better fit for our system than Scamacca, personally. But it's a mess, Nick. It's a real mess now.
It is a mess, mate. It is a mess.
I don't see what they're going to gain by waiting for the Leeds game to lose that one and then do it. It's another 3 points you're throwing down the drain.
Oh, mate, I ain't got a fucking clue. That can't be the case. I mean, I know. I don't think any. This is the thing, right? And I'm not having a go at you, Nigel, or anything else. I know you know people in the club, and I know. But you know something? There is not a person anywhere at the moment that knows about the actual conversations that are happening at board level at the moment. Nobody knows what is happening at board level at the moment. And yes, David Sullivan might want to sit and he might want to stick. But at some point, the people that have been ploughing money into this club, people like Kwasinski, who's watching his share price, that he's watching it shrink with it every week. At some point, he's going to make a phone call to Dave and go, Dave, I'm not being funny, mate. What are you doing? This guy's got to go. He's got to go. They're going to start putting pressure on him. So if Sullivan wants to stick with him, I mean, I can't believe he's still here. I was so certain. I was so certain he was going to be gone over that World Cup break because it made sense. It didn't make any sense to do this because if we couldn't win those 3 games before the fucking World Cup break, going straight into Arsenal and then Brentford, who we've struggled against in the last 2 years, are a bastard team. What was they expecting? And then Leeds, going away to Leeds. I know they're not much better off than us in the league, but if you watch them against Man City, do you see how they play? They're fucking... Mate, they are a vibrant team. They are literally...
They can score goals.
They can score goals. They pressure all over the place. They'll be swarming all over us. We won't know what's going on. So, against...
I mean, they've scored a lot of goals at home this season, Leeds, you know. Can I ask you, Nick, is Nigel... Are you sort of like talking at the moment?
No, what do you mean?
Does Nigel honestly think we can turn... Does Nigel honestly think Moyes is capable of turning this around now?
No, Nigel's on the chat. So no, I don't think... I don't think he does. No, he said earlier on in the chat, but all it is, he doesn't approve of the lynch mob, and Nigel is what... Yeah. But look,
Nigel's very steady sort of fella.
Yes,
he doesn't get... He's very steady. Yeah. But I just wondered... I don't think it's possible now to turn this around. I think it's gone too long now.
There's people in the chat that was saying that we was anticipating it was going to be toxic tonight, right? And I was one of them. I thought it was going to be toxic. But do you know what? Do you know why it weren't toxic? Because for more than... Even though people have started booing him now, but before that, the atmosphere's been dead in that place for a long time. David Moyes is a fucking mood hoover. That is what he is. He has sucked the fucking life out of that team, out of the fans that go to that stadium. We're all fucked. He's fucked us. And I don't even think. I mean, obviously, I'm ranting and raving on here at the moment. But when you saw the reaction, people just sort of traipsed out. They look depressed. It's like, oh fucking hell. It's like I don't know. I think we've all lost our fight a little bit as well. And it's and it ain't fair. It's not fair that we've got to this point. And if you looked at you heard Taz earlier on, right? Taz is a lifetime fan. He was happy that we lost because he thinks that will mean David Moyes is going to get relegated.
Yeah.
And there's so many people on social media. Like I say, for everything that I threw out there, I was desperately disappointed that we lost tonight because our home to Brentford. It's embarrassing. Right.
The only thing is what the ball might be thinking, and I totally agree with you, but he might be saying to Sullivan, "Look, I've got Zuma and a bit of Guerd back any moment now, the back." But even if that's true, and he tightens up the back,
what difference does that make?
Ain't the problem. No, exactly. But what about scoring the goals?
Oh,
what's going to happen there?
Mate, I know.
Antonio's lost his goal touch. Scamacca doesn't look like he wants to be there. It's all right in hindsight saying that we signed some of the wrong players, but
I don't think I don't think we have. I think what happened, I think we signed good players. I believe that now. Cornet aside, he can fuck off. They've got to try and get rid of him. Sell him at a loss. I'm up for that. Sell him for $5 million. Fuck him off. Because having players like that are not willing to pull their weight and are always crying off, get rid of them. They're no good for the team environment. Players like that, get rid of them. But the rest of them, I mean, Downs we ain't seeing nothing of.
No.
The
he's got his favourites, mate. It's the only way you can describe it. For Creswell to still be playing in that team after, I couldn't believe that second goal. I stood and looked at that. I couldn't believe it. It was Creswell. He's so slow.
Well, I think what that was, he's probably having flashbacks to his red cards because the only thing he probably could have done there is take him down and take a red. Maybe.
The thing is, what I'm saying is, Johnson's in that position. I think Johnson doesn't get caught out like that.
Yeah,
Johnson plays at left back. When he's played at left back, Johnson's looked really good.
I know. I mean, Trodge has made a point here, and I'm not calling you out, Trodge. He's saying that we did better in the empty stadiums during COVID. But yeah, I think what that is, mate, and I do believe that as well. I think when David Moyes came in, for the first 6 months when he came in when Pellegrini had 19 games and 19 points. In the second half of that season, in the next 19 games, we got one more point and we went up one place. We survived on less than 40 points. It weren't no great escape or miracle. It was shit.
Yeah.
But then what happened was David Moyes excelled in the pandemic where other managers didn't. Where other clubs were kind of were suffering.
It was fresh at the time.
It was fresh, but he did excel.
Yeah,
he's the pandemic king. He's a king of COVID. David Moyes. He did amazingly well in that period, and then as soon as it returned to normality, so did these fucking drab performances that we were putting out. And I don't blame the fans. I just don't think he can take the pressure. I don't think he can take the pressure. No. He can't.
You can all go in the last 2 years about, whether you should be grateful or not. The fact is, like the previous caller said, the fact is now, it's irrelevant 2 years ago. It's irrelevant last year. It's now, this season.
Yeah.
And we've got to look at where we are now. And at the moment, if the results go against us this weekend, we're in the bottom three.
Yeah.
And if we get further defeats against Leeds and Wolves, because they're going to be up for it. Our away form's terrible.
They're 6 pointers, and all three of those teams. So all three of the teams that you mentioned there, right? I guarantee even Everton, right? Because they're fighting. They're not playing particularly well. But they was, that Wolves and Everton game, that had a proper relegation battle feel to it. That game,
it did. Yeah,
it really fucking did. Two teams that were just right to the end. Look at the way Wolves popped up right at the end. Right, there are teams down there that we're going to be going up against that have got the minerals. We haven't. We really haven't. We're denying it. We're coming out. Moyes, the manager, won't admit it. He won't say we're in a relegation battle. Our captain won't admit we're in a relegation battle. So if you can't admit you're in a fight, how can you be ready for a fight? We're in a fucking fight.
Yeah. There could be a big team going down this season, because Everton looks very, very precarious. Us, I think Southampton could go. I think Forest will go, and then you've got one from West Ham, Wolves. Who else is down there? I think Bournemouth will slip into it. Personally,
yeah.
But at the moment, we've got to put some sort of run together. But I just can't see it happening at the moment. It just, it's just terrible form. It's really dreadful.
I know.
It's dreadful. It's just 5 defeats in a row now. It's no points from 15, 3 points from 21. That's relegation form in anyone's eyes,
It's shit, mate. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've got Guarino saying here, obviously having a conversation with Chris. So a new manager cannot ask for transfers in January. Obviously, Chris is saying that we can't. Yes, he can. Yes, he can, because at the end of the day, mate.
We can get loan deals.
No. Look. At the end of the day, what does relegation cost us?
Oh, of course, yeah.
What does relegation cost you? So of course you can go out and you can spend in January. Of course you can.
Yeah. I could have raised money before. Socek, I could have sold him off a while ago, and his value must be plummeting now.
Yeah.
But there's players in that team that shouldn't be there. He's dropped a couple of them tonight. Fabianski's still in goal. I think Areola, for me, would be in goal now. I mean, that second goal against Arsenal the other night, I think Areola saves that,
Yeah. Oh, mate, the Fabianski thing, I really don't get. I mean, it doesn't make it, and it's what I'm saying to you. He took Souček out reluctantly. He physically couldn't justify starting him because
the thing is with Johnson, there must be some sort of there must be something going on in the changing room, because I don't see why Ben Johnson's not getting a start.
Where's Chris's post? Hang on, I'm trying, Greeno. I'm trying. Hang on 1 minute. This fucking chat's going mental. Go on. Sorry, Gary.
He plays Kera he's been playing Kera week in week out. Every game he makes a mistake that costs us a goal.
Yeah.
We all thought we had a bargain at 10 million. I think we realise now we haven't. And then Johnson sits there, and even now he still plays Creswell.
Yeah.
If he plays Creswell Wednesday against Leeds, well, because Leeds are pretty rapid, so got a lot of pace in that team.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I say, we're going to see what happens, man. Maybe tonight they'll come out with a decision. But do you think they'll get rid of him, Nick?
Oh, man, I don't care. Listen, with all due respect, Nigel and anyone else that thinks that David Moyes is gonna stay here, he's fucking gone. He's gone. There is no way, especially if they're looking at selling the club in the summer, are they going to risk their dream sale? Because this is what this has all been building up to. Once this embarrassment clause expires, they sell up and they ride off into the sunset. Are they really going to risk it? I don't think so. It ain't going to happen.
No. Who would you want to see then? Who do you think would you like to see come in?
What manager?
I mean, even just short term to the end of the season. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Well, you know the type of manager that I want. I mean, but
I know, but be realistic. What do you think?
No, Oh, fuck me. Hang on a minute. Greeno, Nick said, Chris has said that Claret and Hugh reckon Moyes has until the end of January. Well, fuck Claret and Hugh. No way has he got until the end of January. Because you know what? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier on. Because if they do this and the next 3 games go as the last 5 have gone, I'm going to say it now. Do you know what? Cutting your nose off to spite your face. Do you know what, you little... Oh, I don't want to be too... They deserve... I don't want West Ham to get relegated, but if they're going to be that pathetic, do you know what? There's part of me that just they do. They deserve. They deserve their investment to go up in fucking smoke if they're going to treat us like this. Because this football that we've been watching, this football is shit. They're not looking after us at all. They really ain't.
No. Even if Moyes stays to Wednesday.
Thanks for that, Greeno.
Just say he does. If we lose on Wednesday, are they saying Claret and you that the ball will suffer 60 feet in a row and do nothing about it?
What's that?
I said even if Moyes stays until Wednesday and we lose Wednesday at Leeds, I don't honestly believe that Moyes the ball would then say we'll suffer 60 feet in a row, which would be 3 points from 24.
Mate, even now you can't keep on. This has got to be it. It's got to have expired. There can't be any more chances. I mean, even now, if we go away and we win at Leeds, like I said, so fucking what? I mean,
we won't win at Leeds.
No, I don't think we will. And that's a team that leak goals, but we can't score them. So they'll probably be all right.
Even a point at Leeds ain't going to be. If the other teams just start picking up points, because I mean. I'm trying to look at the only thing in our favour this weekend is Everton have got Man City away where they get beat. Forest are home to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Southampton go to Fulham. So I can't see any of them teams picking anything up.
No.
Wolves, of course, they've got Man United. That's the only thing in our favour. They've got hard games coming up. But you can't. And then you've got these massive next 3 games coming up. These 6-pointers. There's 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
And that's where a new manager should be in place for them games. Take advantage of it.
But who would your choice be, mate? Anyway, so if you could pick one manager now that you think's realistic, go on, pick one. Pick one manager, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto Scott, whoever you are. I don't think we spoke before. I'll call you back, mate.
I would offer Pochettino a lot of money and say, come in just the end of the season and then review it. If you're happy, because that might then get people like Declan Rice start playing, Scamacca, Pakeka, they might all start playing properly.
Yeah.
And it might, get a feel good. What you need, Nick, is a feel good factor back in the changing room, back on the training ground, on the pitch. And it's because it's gone so stale now.
That's the thing. We clearly smack of there's no team there. There's nothing there, and this is. I mean, Mandy's saying Pellegrini deja vu. With all due respect, it is. This is we're bottom of every. I mean, our running stats, our pressing stats, everything's rock bottom. It's all relative. And if
Nick,
we all remembered what Moyes said, but we all remembered what Moyes said when he came in. If you don't run, you don't play. Well, that's all been bollocks, isn't it? Because
Gonzo said the other night at the Arsenal game, there's one thing where Ben Rama, I think two of their players picked him up and just almost carried him off the pitch.
I said that the other day.
No reaction.
I said that the other day. There's no fight. There is no fight, and that's the one thing that if you had maybe someone like Noble on the pitch,
you mentioned Billy Bonds or Julian Dix, doing nothing about that.
Even Noble, if you say Noble wouldn't have stood for that, No,
we got bullied, and that was the last 2 years. I mean, Declan Rice getting muscled out by Saka.
Tommy, I'll call you back. Tommy, I'll call you back. Sorry, mate.
All these things that are happening, it wouldn't have happened a year or 2 years ago.
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have.
Oh, anyway, look, I'll let you get other calls on.
Cheers, Gary. Thanks, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Take care, mate.
All right, mate. Speak to you soon. Right. Let's give Scott a quick call, and Tommy, I will call you back.
Hello, Nick. You all right?
Hello, Scott. You all right, mate?
Yeah, not bad, Joe.
I'm all right. I think I might need some blood pressure tablets after tonight, but
yeah, me and you both, mate. Don't worry about that. Couple of points I want to make. Go on, 2 or 3 actually. First one is about Warburton. Yep. So I see Jim Duffy, a Rangers fan, commenting that he doesn't want to see the Hammers near the bottom. So I'm West Ham through, but I'm from a Rangers family as well. So I've always got a big soft spot for Rangers.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of Scottish football at the same time. So this comes down to Warburton and talking about Postecoglou, and one of my picks who I would have put in pole position to take over West Ham had I had the choice would have been Michael Beale. So first on Mark Warburton. So Warburton, his career, Brentford to Rangers to Nottingham Forest, QPR loses his job, ends up as our assistant manager. And it's worth pointing out because as much of the stick that David Moyes is getting, and it's all deserved, by the way, and I'm definitely in the Moyes out camp, that Mark Warburton's come in and there hasn't been a positive change, and their football philosophy are diametrically opposed. So Mark Warburton...
What are you talking about, Warburton and Moyes, you mean?
Yeah, they're diametrically opposed in their approach to management. One thing I'll say for Warburton, he's a progressive manager who likes to play football on the front foot. When he was at Rangers, it started off really well. We got him promoted from the Championship to the Scottish Premier League, and on the way they beat Celtic at Hampden Park in the semi-final. I think it was the Scottish Cup. Yeah, and everything looked rosy. Then he got promoted, brought in a big player, Joey Barton, and he just didn't have a clue what he was doing. He then gets the sack from there, goes to Forest, much the same. I think he took over from O'Neill and Keane. Tries to play a brand of football with players that can't match it. They get out muscled in the league and they don't progress. And I can't remember what happened at QPR, but he's not the manager for us. And it's more concerning that we've got someone like Warburton, who is a Spurs fan, by the way.
No, he fucking isn't.
Yes, he is. He's a Spurs fan.
Mark Warburton. Mate. Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, well, again, this is keeping close tabs on what happened to him while he was at Rangers and post that at the same time. But there has to be some culpability from the board about Moyes about bringing someone like him in, who, as a manager himself, hasn't been particularly successful. Not only that, again, because he's the opposite in the way he approaches games of football to what David Moyes does. Yeah, how is he going to work as an assistant manager? And is there a long-term plan to put him in? Short-term plan to put him in as the assistant. As the manager if David Moyes gets the sack. And if that is the case, then I think we'll be going down. I think Glenn Roeder taking over. Just someone who's not suited to manage the football club. Do you
have a feeling that that's what they've done? They've brought him in. They've lined him up. Do you think he is going to be the next one that comes in?
I don't see it because it will become very apparent very quickly that he hasn't got the tools to be able to push West Ham on. And that's where we as a football club and supporters see ourselves at this point in time. As we've pushed on, we shouldn't be in relegation battles, especially not after spending 180 million.
Yeah.
The other point I want to make is, like, talking about new managers, and I got into a brief conversation. So I'm in a WhatsApp group called the North West Hammers. I'm hoping some of them are actually in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm an East End boy, but I live in the Northwest. And one of the things was, who do we replace Moyes with if we're going to go and get a new manager? So Pochettino, Tuchel, they're everyone's favourite. And Postecoglou's done a fantastic job at Celtic. I don't like to say that, but he's a very good manager and a progressive coach.
Yep.
He's someone worth looking at. Michael Bill, someone I mentioned, another progressive coach, who's got a lot of experience in and around football, particularly in South America. He knows South American system,
Yep.
he knows the English system, and obviously the Scottish system. But it's somewhat looking at those unknown managers or unfashionable managers because they don't carry the name that play a modern brand of football.
Yep.
And we've got players who play a modern brand of football.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, exactly. So what we've got with David Moyes is a manager who wants square pegs in round holes. He's not playing or managing a side and matching players to their ability. So there's a lot of confusion about what they're supposed to do. Skabaka plans a lone striker. You've got Paqueta plans a number 10. You've got Ben Rama, another attacking midfielder, playing out in the wing. I mean, we've got several. Fornals is another example of someone who's played in the wing most of his time at West Ham, but he's someone who plays as an attacking midfielder. So you've got a lot of square pegs going in round holes.
Yep.
So we need a progressive manager, a modern manager who plays a modern game of football to come in and go, right, I've got a really good squad of football players here. I'm going to play to your strengths to maximise your ability to get us out of trouble and then work our way to mid-table. Hopefully win that Europa Conference League as well to set us up for European football the following season. Now, that doesn't mean that David Sullivan has to spend millions and millions and millions finding a name. We went for a name before with Pellegrini. It didn't work out for us too well. So it's not about a name, just like Wolves, just like Southampton have done previously, and lots of other clubs. They've gone and found progressive modern managers who are going to be able to play in the modern game and maximise what they've got. What we've got is an archaic manager who sticks with a system that's outdated, but doesn't know how to change things enough so that he can build on what the good work he'd done previously. We need to go, thank you, David Moyes, but we need someone who's able to take the club football and play a modern brand of football with the players that we've got and build a system around them. So it doesn't have to be millions and millions spent on a known manager. It could be an unknown manager. But on the last point,
just quickly before you move on to your last point, if we ponder on that one for a minute, brilliant caller, by the way, fantastic. What I was going to say is, I completely agree with you. I do believe that that's exactly what we need. We've got the players that don't fit David Moyes now, but they would fit a more progressive manager. But do you think that we've got the ownership in place that will identify that will go, the problem is it's a style of football, it's not the players. We're going to need to go out and get a manager that will fit this group of players. Do you trust that David Sullivan will identify that and rectify it?
No, and that was going to be my last point. It's actually two last points. No, it's good. I'm glad you asked the question. No, I don't. So I was part of the original Hammers United. I don't know if you're aware of Hammers United, but I was one of the original board members for that. And they've gone on to leaps and bounds and how they've been useful for the football club. And I have never, ever since they took over, trusted David Sullivan, David Gold and Karen Brady. Didn't want them anywhere near the club. Yeah. And I've always hated all this talk about we're saviours. We saved West Ham United. There were several people looking at the football club at the same time that they invested. They were the first to it, and they bought the football club. I don't think we've really progressed under them. We've not won a trophy. We moved stadium. Covering old ground here. We moved stadium against the wishes and the majority of the supporters. We haven't played Champions League football. It's only in the last couple of seasons and Billich's first season, the last season at the Bowling Ground, that we've really had any semblance of what we would call success. Beyond that, it's been pretty flat. We've had several managers who played a brand of football that doesn't suit what football supporters, West Ham supporters want to see, which is a progressive game of football. Because if you support a club like West Ham, you don't support them because of trophy. The amount of trophies we've got in the cabinet, you support them because we play to entertain. And football is an entertainment sport. We're not winning the Premier League, so I want to be entertained at a game of football.
Absolutely.
So I don't trust them to have that knowledge and that nous to go out and go, right, we don't need a Rafa Benitez, for example. Certainly not even to tick us over, because the last job they had in football, he's not going to be able to galvanise a modern group of football players. They're going to look at his last stint as an example and go, we're not going to play for you. You absolutely ruined your own reputation by going to your former employer's biggest rival, and you cocked that job up. They need someone to advise them on managers that are out there that could really push West Ham forward. But if the decision's left to them, we could end up with anyone, any old clogger playing a brand of football that could ultimately take us down. And my real big concern with Gold, Sullivan and Brady, and to an extent, I suppose, Krasinski at this point, is that they stuck it out with Avram Grant right to the last. And I've seen some of the comments from people. I think it was Nigel will put a post to say that he's not getting sacked tonight, and another poster said that Moyes had possibly got until the end of January. But they stuck it out with Avram Grant right until the last. I know they were trying to coerce Martin O'Neill to come in behind the scenes at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't trust them to pull the trigger.
You don't? You don't think they will?
No, not at all. That's my big concern. Is that I've got the only evidence I've got on to back that claim up is the Avram Grant tenure, where they stuck with him and he because they were as culpable as Avram Grant.
They did bin off Bilic and Pellegrini, didn't they? So since Avram Grant, we've got evidence that they've got rid of managers at this stage. After Avram Grant, so that's kind of so they have done that, and you would hope that they would have learned. You would hope they would, when things are going badly wrong, and because it's very rare, isn't it? It's very rare when a manager sort of gets themselves into this sort of situation, which he has done, David Moyes. It's very rare that manager can then all of a sudden sort themselves out. It rarely happens. You've normally once you're seeing these warning signs and you're seeing a manager go into that death spiral that we're seeing Moyes has been in now for probably the best part of 12 months, and we saw the culmination of that tonight, because it was pathetic what happened in that second half tonight, wasn't it, mate?
It was, and the thing for me is they did change the approach with Bilic and Pellegrini.
Yeah.
But they do have a history of sticking with managers as well, right to the last. And that goes back to their days at Birmingham City. But I think one thing that stands for David Moyes is the perception, and you've covered it tonight and several times before, because this is my favourite West Ham channel, by the way. Not
Thank you very
up,
much. Thank you very much, yeah.
But they have a long history of sticking by managers through thick and thin. Where David Moyes gets a pass for them, I believe, is the perception that he saved the club twice previously, which I don't agree with. And then obviously we had the brilliant season during COVID, and he's taken us to Europe twice back to back. They're not looking at the more holistic picture of where he's actually failing at this point and going, right, look, we appreciate what you've done. You've built some great foundations for the next person to come in and take the good work that you've done to take the club forward.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stick with him because in their mind, he will have the ability to keep us in the Premier League, and that is their only concern, because it keeps their investment in place and we're still a Premier League club. That's my concern, and that's what I think they'll do. They're not visionary enough. Plus, they're not. They're two very old men as well. These are not young whippersnappers who understand the modern game themselves. They're working in an archaic system because that's how they've always worked, and that's how they're always going to work. Krasinski's come in, by the looks of things, he looks like he's going to be a silent player working in the background, leaving the running of the club, particularly to David Sullivan. So he's going to do what he's always done before, and that is right. I think I know best. I'm going to leave it to a manager who I think is just going to keep us in the division, keep us bobbing along. And if it does get to, I don't know, the end of January and we're still in the doldrums, they might take a swipe and get rid of Moyes at that point.
Yeah.
But history for me, bar those 2 exceptions to the rule, is that they'll stick with David Moyes and we'll find ourselves in a bit of stuck along the way. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they go, right, we need someone to have a look around the football world.
You're going to give me fucking night terrors. You are. I'm going to be waking up sweating in the middle of the night.
Some of the WhatsApp groups I'm in. I mean, at first, everyone was going, fair play to Moyes. He has laid those foundations. I really appreciate him. To some of the people in the WhatsApp groups, the language has become a bit more vitriolic towards him rather than, no, thanks for what the good work you've done. It's now, no, you're tearing down the walls of what you've given us because you're too stubborn, you don't understand the modern game, your over-reliance on certain players, you don't perform, your lack of ability to adapt new players to a league system and to the modern game of football. And last point, actually, and I swear I'll shut up after this because I can talk for England.
Go on, mate. I'm enjoying this. Give me a break.
The last point is, and this comes where we talk about trust in the board and David Moyes, etc. Who signed these players, irrespective of sound bites that Moyes has put out regarding Paqueta, for example? If he had watched Paqueta as much as he's alluded to, why isn't he playing the man to his strengths? He was shit tonight. He's not been good. I can't think for any of his appearances, possibly his debut at Chelsea, where he's not impacting football, game of football. Same with Scamacca. Cornet, you've mentioned, just another Kieran Dyer, Andy Carroll, get rid as soon as possible. Kehrer, a German international, where should he be playing? How should he be playing? Does he fit in Moyes' plans? Who has signed these players and who has signed off? And what due diligence is been done on this group of players to say, right, you're ready for the Premier League, you will help West Ham, you will take us to the next level. And I'm hoping the next level isn't the Championship in Millwall way, and it's more Champions League and dipping Real Madrid away at some point. But the strategy behind the scenes has always been a bit haphazard for me. There's never been a consistent approach to year on year. This is how we'll build. This is the type of player we need to bring in to take the club forward. And thinking with a David Moyes hat on, he wants hard workers. He wants grafters. He wants players that are going to put in a shift week in and week out. What he's got is players that are coming to the end of their career. He's got players that are not pulling their weight, and he's got players who just can't adapt to his system. So who's pulling the strings? Yeah. And who's signing the players that have been brought in recently? Because we certainly haven't improved. And if anything, we've got serious worries about relegation at this point.
That was always my concern, mate, with David Moyes. And it was silly bollocks, wasn't it, that was involved in the Paqueta signing? Who's Sullivan's agent that he uses? Silkman, yeah, it was him. He was the one that was fronting that up. So it weren't Newman. When Scamacca was brought in, you saw Scamacca was kind of photographed in and around that deal, and he was directly involved. But this was Barry Silkman, wasn't it, all the way, which does lead you to believe that it's a Sully special to a degree. And I don't want to get on Paqueta's back because we've all seen the type of player that he is, but he definitely isn't. He would never have fit in a Moyes team, would he?
Well, no, it's the same as Ben Rama. Ben Rama doesn't fit in his side because he coached him off each week going, well, he's the one player that's always let us down. When, for me, this season particularly, he's usually been our brightest spark. I've been to enough games. Because I live in the Northwest, I go to a lot of the away games, not so much of the home games. But Ben Rama's been one of our few bright sparks this season, and yet he seems to be on the tip of Moyes' tongue most weeks as someone to...
Mate, he don't like him at all, does he? He don't like him at all.
No, but why don't you pick out on Souček, who has been particularly abysmal for the last 2 seasons? He gets a bit of a pass for the first half of last season, but ironically, Leeds coming up. I remember being at Leeds last season. He was at fault for the first goal and he just never got into the game. So we've got a group of players that are either not performing, aren't able to perform because they can't play in the system. We don't know who signed them. So we've got this whole inquest that needs to be done on what's gone on behind the scenes and who's actually pulling the strings, while seeing at the same time having to look for a manager who can come in and manage those players, because I don't care what anyone says, that's a good group of players. And I've seen, not at the moment because I'm talking to you on my phone, there is several people who agree with me at least saying that squad of players shouldn't be at this end of the table.
I think it is. I mean, look, we know that there are glaring weaknesses. We know there are. If you look at right back and you look at left back and centre back, whilst we've got the injuries, there are glaring gaps in that team. But that said, it still should have. There should be more than enough quality what I see that we're in a false position at the moment. We are. We've got a very good group of players, probably more than good. We should definitely be. We should definitely be in the top half this season. And I know you've got Newcastle now that have kind of stepped into the top 6, and they're probably there to stay. So it's going to make it even harder to break into that. But we should be fighting. We should be I think we should be the top of the chasing crop, if you like. You know, the teams underneath. Best of the rest. That's what we should be doing. And David Moyes is failing miserably. And you look at I know it's an extreme example, but you look at Haaland, right? Who's coming? I know they're a different team, but he's coming to Man City. You know, Pep's thrown him straight in 20 goals. With all due respect, how many goals would Haaland have scored in the West Ham team? Do you think this season would it have been 20 goals? I don't think so. I don't think he'd have scored 20 goals.
Moyes would probably bring him in as a centre half.
He would. Yeah, he'd still be bedding him in. He's not quite ready yet. You know, he's quite young.
Well, that's another good point. He's not quite ready. When we look at Newcastle, Eddie Howe particularly, another progressive manager who plays the modern game of football, Isaac, no, you're straight and you're ready, because we're going to play around you. We're going to make sure that...
Has a player ever adapted to the Premier League through sitting on the bench?
No, I don't understand. I don't understand that mentality.
I know.
Another problem. You keep when you come up with something, it flicks off another part. It's the youth players. This is a major concern. I see the video. Should we close the academy down, because we've got a lot of, or at least apparently, a lot of good young players that are not getting a look in, and then are purposely looking outside. Sonny Perkins and Harrison Ashby, obviously the two standouts. What about Longelo when he comes back?
Yeah.
Is he going to get a look in? Is he going to go, I've got to leave?
No. Well, you look at Matey, who went to Anderlecht. Oh, fucking now, my brain scrambled. Now he's playing for Josh Cullen. He's playing for Burnley now. You know, he's their captain. He's gonna turn out to be a very good, solid central midfielder in the Premier League. Yep. I've got no doubt he will do. You know, so why on earth? You telling me Cullen wouldn't have been a better option than Souček?
All day long, because he can carry a ball and he can pass a ball. He's not magical in the box. He is industrious. He's useful. He'll keep you ticking over and allow the more flair-based players to do what they need to do. He will just tick us over nicely, but he didn't get a look in, and now he's thriving under company at Burnley, as he did at Anderlecht, as he did at Charlton and the whole City when he was out on loan. I think when he was at Hull, he won the Player of the Year. Yeah. While he was there. He's a good football player. He's not an amazing football player, but he's good enough for us, and he's good enough for us as a squad option.
But I think Gary made the point in that video, didn't he? West Ham, notoriously, yes, we do have talismanic players. We do have one or two, but generally our team is made up of those very good players. You know, they're the ones that create the team. And then what you do is you sprinkle a bit of magic dust in there, and then bang, boom, you're away.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Give me 10 hard workers and 2 flair players all day of the week, because the hard workers, they do the donkey work, and he'll give it to a Pye, a Decanio, a Devonshire, before my time, but I'm aware, an Ian Bishop, players that can make something happen with the ball. Bring them in, but we'll do the hard work. We'll give you the platform to take this forward. And we just don't have that. No. We're not allowing players. The big problem, there's a million big problems at West Ham United at the moment, not least the manager of the ball. I don't think we're ever going to progress, because we've always been unlucky with owners. And I think it was Taz who brought this up when he was calling, whether it was Brown, whether it was the Cerns, whether it's the Icelandic first billionaires to take over after Roman Abramovich, they go bust, the Golden Sullivan, whoever could be next. This is something, because I listen to Simon Jordan a lot, is we've got to be careful who the next owners are. I don't like Gold Sullivan Brady. I never have and never will. Yeah. But are we looking for a sugar daddy to come in that's going to try and make us the next Newcastle or Man City or Chelsea, whoever it is? They're going to throw money at the football club, but what's the bigger picture? And where does that take? And this is a tangent, and something I won't go into too much now. What I'm trying to get at in my long-winded way is that under Gold Sullivan Brady, this club is never going to progress, because they don't have a plan. They never have a plan. They They make rash decisions. They use preferred agents. They delve into the transfer market because Sullivan apparently likes to think himself as a scout. And we always end up with an unbalanced side. And every time we look like we're about to take a step forward, we end up taking 2 or 3 back. And Ireland and everyone else just thinks it's the same old shit each season. And what the club don't realise is how lucky they are to have us as supporters. And for us to go into that stadium with 62,000 supporters, unbelievably taken for granted this time. There's not many supporters in the whole of the UK that will put up with this. We are one of the best sets of supporters in the country, and they take the piss out of us.
Do you know how many tickets on social media? And I was shocked. So if you look on Twitter and you look on a lot of the Facebook groups that we're all on, there were people they couldn't give their tickets away for the game tonight. They physically couldn't. They couldn't give. They just didn't want to go. And I was expecting. We've seen the toxic reactions. Well, people call it toxic. I think it's necessary at certain times. Yep. I was expecting a little bit more from that tonight. But you know what? Like I said, I think apathy has set in. I think we've almost. I kind of think because David Moyes has been afforded so much. So much by way of patience from fans who rightly so have been patient with him because of what he's done. It's almost like you've gone past that sort of anger state. I do. I think apathy set in with him.
I think Leeds on Tuesday. I'll be there. Yeah. If Moyes is dishing out the same old crap, that's when you'll see your first toxic atmosphere, because it's always the away crowd, the hardcore, that are going to be the ones that really turn. And I also think it's the away crowd that end up turning on the home crowd as well, because other people, maybe through bandwagon jumping, maybe because they feel emboldened to that point to actually stand up. But I don't want us to get in another position where we had that Burnley game back in 2018. I understood why the fans running the pitch at that point, especially Bubbles. I know Bubbles for Amish United. I understand why they did it, and it was purely out of passion and love for the club, and for seeing us continuously run in a poor fashion. We don't want to get to that stage again, but things like that could happen the closer we get to the trapdoor. Yeah. And while my favourite game in football will always be West Ham Millwall, I'd rather them come up for us to play that rivalry, and I know that's never going to happen, rather than us go down.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. So look, on a fantastic call, mate, and we will definitely. I'm gonna hunt you down. We'll definitely get you back on for another call. I might even get you on a show if you're up for it. We'll get you on a show with us.
No, I won't mind that. I'll speak to your mate Virgil as well. He knows one of my mates. Apparently, he's originally from Bow, because one of my mates, Richard, knew him from Stradley Walk, Wager Street, a pub they used to drink called the Brit.
The Brit, yeah. That's where I used to drink.
There you go. Yeah. I'm around the corner in Southern Grove, but now exiled in Liverpool. But I'll come on. I'd happily come on at some point. Happy to arrange that.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. So listen, if Moyes does go, just very quickly, you can pick a manager now, a realistic manager who you think we can get in. Who would it be?
As much as it pains me to say this, because I don't like doing business with this football club, it'd be Ange Postecoglou. That's my thoughts as well. I know a lot of people don't like that, but yeah, I think he's. I just love. I love. It's the way that he talks. His press conferences as well. His football's great. I know you can't take too much on that because it's a Scottish league, this, that, the other. But I do like his philosophy. But he's very. I love his philosophy.
He's very much geared towards playing football for the fans, isn't he?
I'll say this the last time. I don't like Celtic Football Club. I never will like Celtic Football Club. And any Englishman who's probably aware of why I personally couldn't like Celtic, forget the Rangers affiliation. But he understands supporters, and he understands what supporters want to see, but he also understands fundamentally the modern game of football. Yeah. So if you want to bring a manager in who's going to change the face of the way that we approach the game, that will suit players like Paqueta, like Skamaka, and he goes, Skamaka, you're definitely not a lone striker. Let's lob Antonio up. He'll do the donkey work. You get in the positions you need to score goals. I'll make that happen for you. He'll make the crowd happy, he'll make the board happy, he'll make the players happy, and that means we march further up the league. And it's all about progress. So if you want to progress, my final thought is Ange Postecoglou, progressive football, let's get him in. And it'll ruin Celtic, so it's a double win for me.
Completely agree, mate. Completely agree. What's this? John McCarthy said, you're such a fibbernick. You're banging on about Poch. Yes, I do want Poch. 100%. I would take Poch. But I'm being called out here. But Postecoglou, since I I think it was actually Gio on Hammers Chat. He was the one who told me about him, and he said the same thing. He said, I don't like Celtic. I hate them. He said, but
I heard him. Yeah.
He said, I've fallen in love with Postecoglou. You know, so yeah, I've looked into him a little bit, and absolutely, mate. I think he'd be a breath of fresh air for us, especially considering the situation that we're in. The only concern with that is that you know, we'd have to buy him out of his contract, and Golden Sullivan in particular typically don't do that. They like people that are out of work and free, don't they, and cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that he would be open to the move, and that because there wouldn't be that big of a the compensation wouldn't be that big for Postecoglou. They're not in the Champions League. I don't think they're in the Europa League, so it's all steam ahead for the Scottish domestic trophies, the League Cup, and the Scottish FA Cup. So, I mean, if he wants to be challenged, I think a approach from West Ham could be enticing for him, as it would be probably for Everton and a few other clubs down there. But you've got to be. You want to be first to a manager like that who was making a name for himself in Japan. Nobody had ever heard of him, including myself. Comes over to Scotland. I think he's going to get blown away.
Yeah.
By Gerrard at the time, and then when Van Bronckhorst come in for the Rangers, didn't happen that way. But I mean, while he's got a clear pedigree and a style about him, and someone who understands the modern game, let's take the punt, bring him in. If it doesn't work out, then this is one. It wouldn't have cost. It could cost the club, obviously, but it's worth a punt for a modern manager because it's not what David Moyes is. So,
it was as Gary said earlier on. He said in many situations, people will say, "Be careful what you wish for." I think that's void in this situation because it can't get much worse.
It's a phrase I hate. I've heard that from pundits today by Perry Groves, who was really complimentary about West Ham, but he was a Moyes in, and Ray Parlour. And I hate that brigade because we had it with Allardyce for years. Be careful what you wish for. I'm sorry, but I'd rather play in the conference and play good football than watching the shit that's served up for us at the moment. I'm all about the entertainment factor rather than if football is 11 men behind the ball in or on counter attack or lump it. I'm not interested. I'll put up with it for a certain amount of time, but at certain stages, you're just going to switch off and go, I've had enough. There has to be a prize at the end of something. And I still remember Hull at home when Allardyce was in charge. It's the first and only time I can remember a manager getting booed after a win because style of football and an approach to the game matters, and we'll stomach it for a certain amount of time if there's a method to the madness. With Allardyce, it was, this is how I play football, and a bit like Moyes, I don't know how to adapt. So it was a case of, I can't put up with it anymore. Let's get someone who's going to entertain the fans at the very least, even if we do end up as being relegated. But that squad is too good to get relegated. Doesn't mean it's too good not to get relegated.
No.
So I think we need something to freshen up the place, put a smile on the face of the supporters and the players themselves so they get working again. And then we can look forward to good times because, last thing I'll say, we should be looking to win that Conference League and keep our place, West Ham's place in Europe and building on that, because irrespective of that point where we finish in the league, if we win that Conference League, that keeps West Ham in high standard with players that we want to attract in to continue those building blocks. So win that Conference League, finish in the bottom half, that won't matter at that point, but Moyes won't be able to do that.
And do you know something? Well, this is one thing that I will say as well, and people won't like this as well. I've been saying this since day one. People have been saying, stick with me. It don't matter if we finish bottom half because Moyes will win the cup. He won't win the fucking cup. He won't win a cup. Look at what happened in that semi-final against Frankfurt. He fucking choked over both legs. It was. I'm sorry. I know we had some good nights. But yeah, for me, that's it. I believe he's going, so I'm going to stick with that for my own mental health.
Oh, I hope so. If he goes, I'm going to have that's going to be my New Year's Eve party on my own.
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. I know.
It's a good old drink.
Dougie Montana, Nick, did you drink in the Wentworth? Yes, I've drunk in the Wentworth many times, mate. Yes, I have. I have indeed. I was I was born in Mile End, and I lived on Eric Street, which was down the Bow Common Lane end. So
no,
not down by the station.
Because I was
Yeah.
Southern Grove, Mile End Hospital born.
Yeah.
Southern Grove was where I was born and raised. Eric
Yeah.
Street. I still got one of my mates that lives down there. I miss it. Especially
Yeah,
when you live
so
in
do I.
Liverpool.
So do I. I know. Well, I'm almost as bad. I live sort of in Tottenham land, really, which fucking annoys me, irritates me. But yeah, no, that's fine. Anyway, Scott, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to make one last call to Tommy, and then that's me lot. But brilliant, mate. I will contact you and we'll get you on the show.
Top man. Cheers, Nick. Take care, all.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Well, what a fantastic caller he was. Cheers for that, Scott. Thank you very much. Quite insightful. I didn't know that about Warburton. I didn't want Warburton before, and now I know he's a Spurs fan. He can definitely fuck right off. Yeah, no chance. Let's see if we can get Tommy on the phone. Hello, Tommy.
Fuck me, you took your time.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I was speaking to Scott. Did you catch that call?
I was listening. Yeah, it was good.
Brilliant caller. So, Tommy, tell me what's going to happen, mate. Do you think he's going to go?
Oh, I'm a bit torn on it, to be honest. I mean, on the one hand, I'm thinking, how is it possible that he doesn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, on the one hand, you're thinking, like, what's he got to do to get the sack? Oh, and then on the other hand, this is Sullivan we're talking about.
Yeah.
So will I be surprised if he's in charge for the Leeds game? No, not particularly. Just given it's only a few days away on Wednesday. But on the other hand,
hang on, Tommy.
I can't think of one.
Well, I've got to clear this up. 1 minute, John. Nick, you're a spud. No, I'm fucking not a spud. I hate Tottenham. I was born in Mile End, and I basically moved with my other half to Enfield, which is where basically the babysitters were, and I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here in Tottenham land. I hate it. My son's the only bloody West Ham fan in his school, and yeah. But no, I'm not a spud. Don't swear at me. Sorry, go on, Tommy.
Yeah, slanderous. That is
slanderous. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'd sue him, to be honest. But defamation of character.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I had to address that outrageous comment in the chat.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I would have addressed it as well.
Yeah.
It's just like I say, it's just inconceivable to me.
Yeah.
That David Moyes could be left in charge after this game. I mean, I was struggling to understand why he was left in charge beyond the World Cup.
No.
And then now, given the lack of any kind of challenge we put up to Arsenal, and tonight, just the cherry on top. Really, it's inconceivable to me that Sullivan was sitting there in that director's box tonight, watching that and thinking, "Yeah, I'll let him take charge of more games."
Yeah, even that the feeling after the Leicester game, and that is kind of what does give, because Gio and Hamish Chat said something similar last night. Obviously, Scott said the same thing, and that is that they believe that because of recent form and because of statements that have come out from the likes of Mark Noble, even where Mark Noble's been vocally backing David Moyes. Are they going to stick with him? And but the worry is, mate, and it is, and this is the thing. Nigel will say, there's 8 teams in a relegation battle at the moment. I'm not being funny. This will start to take shape over the next 3 games. Where I will say it again, I've said it multiple times tonight. Where we've got those 3 6-pointers that are coming up against teams that are going to have a lot more fight than what we show tonight. They will, and what we've shown in recent games. I don't expect anything from Leeds, from Wolves, or even from Everton. I don't expect anything from those. If you lose them, you're rooted in the bottom 3, and not only that, you're going to be probably clear of 17th place. 3 points, maybe even more. And once you're in that sort of situation, digging your way out of it's an absolute. That is not easy. Like I say, you're going to be trying to g yourselves up. You might go out, you'll get a win, but then you'll look. Everyone around you will fucking win as well. You won't go anywhere. So once you're in that situation, it's incredibly difficult. And I do. This has got a real shitty feeling about it this season. And if they are really going to throw our future on the roulette table, which they would be doing, because they believe somewhere in their minds that David Moyes can turn this around, it fucking defies all belief. And to be quite honest, I desperately don't want us to go down as a West Ham fan. But for their point of view, they almost deserve their investment to go up in smoke. They do. They're fucking useless, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's hard to wrap your head around it, really. The thinking at board level right now, and like I've said, like I don't care about David Moyes anymore. You know, it's like for me, this is not about Moyes anymore.
No,
David Moyes is David Moyes, and he's going to do what David Moyes does. It's very clear that he's got no clue how to get us out of this. Excuse me. I mean, we saw tonight. We've got plenty of possession. We've got plenty of possession in Brentford's half. But we clearly cannot create any openings. And you look at the subs he made, he clearly doesn't have a clue how to change that. Like in the end, he brought Souček on, essentially just to get himself in the box in the hope he might be able to get the end of a cross.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just desperation stuff because he doesn't know what to do about this. He doesn't.
No. He's proved it, mate. He's proved it now, like beyond any doubt. Why this tonight proved why he doesn't play an attacking game, because I don't think he fucking knows how to do it. I mean, we did today. We played we played a high press. We played further up the pitch. But you look at the personnel selections at the back. He picks Fabianski, who, as I said earlier on, he makes me look agile. He's getting older. I love Fabianski, but we've got fucking Areola on the bench. And he plays Dawson, Ogbonna and Cresswell. You know, Dawson and Oggy in particular. I love the pair of them. But they're fucking slow. And that has got to be the slowest backline ever. And they're going up against Tony and Mbeumo. And you've got Soufal. You've got Soufal out on the right wing, who was tasked with just getting deliveries into the box, because tonight's game was, the whole game plan was just aiming balls into the box from wide areas, and the deliveries were shit. You know, Soufal, he's awful. His delivery is awful. He didn't put not one cross on the money. You know, Emerson, he looks like he's like a is he Brazilian or Italian? I don't know. Whatever he is, he's like Masuaku reborn. He looks fucking useless. Emerson. He does, and I don't want to turn on him, but whenever I've seen him play, I don't know what he really brings to us. And he was expensive. And then you got Cornet. But there are some good players. I do believe that Paqueta would be good in the right team, never be good in a David Moyes team. Skamaka, I think he's a good striker, but it's Haller Mark II. Not because a lot of people will say Haller is he was a flop and he weren't suited to the Premier League. Bollocks, he was. Haller under the right manager in the Premier League would have done well, but Skamaka's in the wrong team. It's the wrong setup, you know. And when he did do what we never thought he would do, that's when you know he's up against the ropes. When he threw Antonio and Skamaka up front, it was shit, wasn't it? What was that all about? I mean, we didn't get the ball to him. And I love Antonio, and I don't want to make fun of him. I don't. But there was one thing that happened towards the end which did make me laugh. Okay, and it typified West Ham at the moment. Did you see his air shot?
Yeah.
Did you see Antonio's air shot? He kicked the ball with the instep of his foot, and you just thought, oh mate, seriously, fucking hell. If anything typified West Ham at the moment, it was that, because that was bad.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Skamaka tonight because Brentford, Thomas Frank's got his number. He knows Moyes to coach a team to score goals. He knew all he had to do was sit back and hit us on the counter and they'd win that game. And I felt sorry for Skamaka because, he's in and around the box all night. And like I say, we're just dumping balls into the box that have no real purpose to them.
Yeah.
They're just, like I say, from both sides, they're just being dumped in. And it's basically like, go on then, Skamaka, see if you can get in the end of one of those. But he's been challenged by two centre-backs every time.
Yeah.
For the fucking cross. I mean, it was shocking stuff. And Moyes did not have a clue how to change it. I mean, Paul Evans spent ages before he even made a sub, to switch it to two up front, as you say, just out of desperation, hoping Antonio might be able to do something. But when Z scored goals, he just does goals. And it's really, really poor. And to be honest with you, it was exactly what I was expecting. I predicted a loss. I didn't think we were getting to get anything out of this. Thomas Frank's a much better manager than Moyes.
Yeah, I know. Well, they've secured him now, haven't they, Tommy?
Yeah, and I mean, and rightly so. That's he's done a great job considering his resources.
He has.
You consider the difference in resources that him and Moyes have. I mean, the job he's done is fantastic. But like, I'm kind of fed up with it, Nick. Like, I mean, there's only so much I can criticise Moyes. I feel like a fucking parrot.
That's what I mean. Are you starting to feel apathetic towards all of this as well?
Yeah, I'm starting. I'm just numb to it now.
I know.
It's like you can only kind of say it so many times. You can only be energized so many times. You can only be angry so many times, and like you said, you just get apathetic to it. And I'm at the point now where, like, what's the point in me saying anything about Moyes? Just be saying it for the millionth time. And for me now, it's the board now. For me, like they had an opportunity, actually a golden opportunity that has never come around before, may not again. Before the World Cup, where they could have got a manager in, given him essentially a pre-season, 6 weeks to work with the players and implement, what he wants to implement.
Yeah,
be ready to go for the Arsenal game, and this really, really very important run of games we've got now that began tonight, and they didn't do it. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever happens now going forward, the blame for that firmly lays at the feet of the board, because they made the decision to back him. So now that's one of the reasons I don't think he's getting sacked, is because they backed him before the World Cup, gave him his 6 weeks to try and sort things out, and now they're going to look like a bunch of pricks. Frankly, fucking
that
idiots.
Is a thing.
If they sack him 2 games later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they do sack him, it's inexplicable. It doesn't make any sense. But they've got to sack him. We knew this was going to happen. Look, we're not telepathic. There is every chance, in a parallel universe, we could have come back. We could have gone 1-0 up against Arsenal like we did. We could have held it on. We could have, our manager might have reacted when Arsenal came out, and obviously Arteta had fucking fixed the problems that they had in the first half. Our manager could have been a bit dynamic, and he could have given them something else to think about. But it didn't happen. We could have beat Arsenal. We could have tucked away 2 or 3 of the chances that we had before Brentford scored tonight. We could have. We could have. It could have happened. But it was a fucking long shot, wasn't it? We're based on evidence and based on the trend of the last year. It was a massive long shot, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we're into kind of fucking law of average stuff here, right? Because if you leave Moyes in the job, at some point we'll get a win off somebody.
Yeah.
But it's not going to signify some great turnaround. It's not the tide turning. It's just law of averages.
Yeah.
You beat someone at some point. So even if we do win a game, even if somehow we went up and shithoused the 1-0 win at Leeds or something, that's not going to be, the tide turning. It's just going to be law of averages stuff.
Yeah.
We'll beat someone eventually. And then what does that do? Does that give him another 3-4 games? Does that reset the clock? It's a ridiculous situation the board have put us in. And I don't blame Moyes in that respect. Obviously, look, we can keep criticising him for the way we're playing and for the lack of goals, for the poor results.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me now, it's gone beyond the point where this is about Moyes anymore. To me, this is the board.
I know.
Being incompetent again.
And the worry is, as we've spoken about a few times now, and look, one problem at a time. For me, Moyes has got to go, and then you worry about what happens next. But what happens next is a worry. And this isn't a be careful what you wish for scenario, because things can't get much worse than what they are at the minute. They can't. But you do worry about what happens next, because I still believe we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp of something good. We've got a good collection of players. We've got a fucking good team now. Yes, there's still gaps. Yes, Cresswell needs replacing. Yes, we need a new right back. But on the whole, we've got some fucking good players there. If somebody could just come in and find the formula to get us playing, it is a false position. We should never be where we are. It's bollocks. He's failed. He has failed. Ultimately, the guy's been here for 3 years. The guy's been here for 3 years, and he's returned us back to where we was. We had a bit of fun. We had 2 top 7 finishes and a Europa League semi-final. 1 fuck all, but we had a few good years, and he's returned us back to the same point from where he found us. 300 million worse off.
Yeah, and
That's a fact.
The worst thing is that. Oh yeah, there's no arguing that.
No.
We're fucking back to square one.
Yeah.
And you know the real pity about it, Nick, is that if the board had done what they should have done and replaced the World Cup was on, we'd still have a chance to really salvage the season. The problem we have now is that if we sack him sometime over the next few games, this season is still nearly almost going to be a write-off.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what can we get out of it really? You know, let's say they sack him after we lose to Wolves or Everton or something, and you know, there's less and less games, and now the new manager coming in has got to dig us out of a hole, and he's not going to be able to do what he might have been able to do with more time and more games.
Hang on, Tommy, is this right? Moyes Collective has said, is it that bad? 5 wins this calendar year in the Premier League. Is it that bad?
I don't know. I'd have to check that. Double check that. I'm not sure. We've won 4 this season.
That's
we
what I mean.
Had one more.
We beat Norwich, didn't we? I know that was we didn't win many games at the tail end of last season.
No, but it must be more than 5. I think
that is awful. That'd be fucking bad if that was the case.
No, we've got 4 this season. I think it's more like 11 wins this calendar year.
Yeah.
I think it's 11, something like that. Yeah, Jesus. But that's still pathetic.
It's shit. It really is.
I mean, it's a head scratcher how he's still in the job.
It's a head scratcher how Harry says this when he comes in. I mean, why?
That's
why,
what I do.
Why?
I win.
Why? I mean, bearing in mind when he came in, yeah.
That's what I do.
You know,
I win. 2
years previous, he'd relegated Sunderland, right? He'd relegated Sunderland. He had a full year there. He bought 13 players. People say, "Oh yeah, that was a basket case." They'd just enjoyed a 10-year stint. They was in the Premier League for a decade. David Moyes comes in. He bought fucking record players for Sunderland. For them, one of them, 2 of them. I can't remember their names now. They'll remind me in the chat. One of them was Jack Rodwell. They fucking went missing, didn't they? They went AWOL when they got relegated, so they were saddled with debt that they couldn't recoup any money. He left them in fucking turmoil. They went down on 24 points with a whimper, 16 points away from safety, and then he comes in and he says that.
That's what I do. I win.
He's taking the piss.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, he left Sunderland in a massive hole with that Rodwell contract. Yeah. They way overpaid him. And then when they got relegated down to the Championship and then League One, he refused to move on because no other team was going to pay him anything like the contract he was on at Sunderland. So he insisted on playing out his contract at Sunderland, and his wages were crippling them.
Fucking hell.
Crippling them. It was a ridiculous situation.
Apparently, it's been Tommy. Apparently, it's been confirmed. I mean, it was Gio earlier on. Apparently, he said 5 wins. So we've had Stuart Clark and Moyes Collective have both said it's 5 wins this calendar year. I mean,
is it really 5?
If it's 5, how the fuck is he still here?
We really only win 1 game between January and the end of the season.
Let me have a look. I'm going to have a look myself. Go on. Carry on talking, Tommy, anyway.
I don't know.
Help me out. Go on.
I think it's more like 11. We surely won more than 1 game.
I've got to have a look because it can't. I mean,
January
if it's that bad, if it's that bad, it makes it even more fucking baffling that he's still here.
Then should be more than enough. You know, it shouldn't even have to go back to last season. I mean, our record this season is pathetic. We got 14 points from 17 games.
Mate, I know. Right, let's have a look.
Completely unacceptable.
Let's have a look. So for this season, we go back to last season. Oh, it don't go back that far. All right, I can't do that now. I'm going to take Gio's word for it. He normally does his his homework, so I'm sure that is the case. But 5 home wins. Sorry, 5 home wins this calendar year. That's more like it. Okay.
Yeah, 5 home wins.
5 home wins.
Wow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, 5 home wins. Right. Okay.
Well, that's
I can believe that. I can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 home wins. That's scarcely believable, Nick. Scarcely believable. I mean, that's absolutely pathetic.
It's 11 wins. We've won 11 times in a year.
Yeah, about the 11 then overall. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's horrendous. It's a horrendous record, and like I say, even just this season alone, his record is sackable. I think it's hard to think of too many other clubs in the Premier League that would still have their manager in place in this situation. Unless they're a team that have come up from the Championship maybe and haven't really spent any money, and they have a Championship level team and they expect it to struggle a bit, then maybe they stick with their manager for a while because he got them up and they haven't really been able to back him.
Yeah.
But given the money, I mean, just the money he's been given this summer, Nick, and to spend to be where we are, like you say, is completely false position. We shouldn't be anywhere near that relegation zone.
No way.
We should be inside the top 10, pushing again to try and finish in the top 6 spot. I know it's not easy.
Well, no, especially now
with
especially now with Newcastle coming in. So if you consider that Newcastle now form the top 7 with the other 6 that are already cemented on paper, I suppose it's not always the case. Sometimes you'll get a couple of teams that drop off, which is what's happened in the past few years. But the top 7 now has become quite clear. But we should definitely be looking at being the best of the rest that are chasing that pack, ready to capitalise for when an Arsenal or Spurs or whoever it is does have a fucking shit season and drops out. We should be looking at being that team at the moment, I think, Yeah,
and I mean, if you take Newcastle, who are absolutely flying it, you look at the respective squads and then look at the table. I mean, that disparity shouldn't be there.
No.
I think that squad-wise, I think we can challenge Newcastle player for player. If you say, with everyone fit, best 11 out, we absolutely could challenge Newcastle man for man. The difference between the two teams is they've got a manager who's doing an excellent job, and we've got one who's doing a terrible job.
Yeah, no, I know, mate. But anyway, Tommy, look, it's 2 hours now. I'm on my own, and I'm getting text messages because I'm actually in. My son's down with me this week, and he's actually he's staying in my office, so they want to go to bed. So I need to wrap the show up. So have you got something you want to close on, Tommy?
No, not really. I think I've covered pretty much everything. I just hope the board do the right thing, even if they're going to have some egg on their face. I think they've just got to eat crow now.
Yeah.
And do the right thing and get him out of there because, we're beyond the point now of having any beef left.
Yeah.
That David Moyes can turn this season around.
It's not even a question now. He's just got to fucking go. Get him out. We're all fed up with it. We're all fed up with talking about it, moaning about it, watching his shitty football, listening to his excuses. It's done. Just get him gone. That should be it now. And as Scott said on the last call, if he's still here in time for the Leeds game, it's going to be nasty. It's going to get worse. But we can't keep sacrificing 3 points because they've got this inbuilt rule that a team. Apparently, I think it's Sean Whetstone that says it. Doesn't he? He says he's spoken to. Oh, hang on 1 minute. Yeah, he's spoken to David Gold directly, and David Gold has often said to him, six games and that's it. 6 games. No Premier League manager has ever survived losing 6 games. I mean, fuck's sake, have we got to wait for that? Have we got to wait for it? But anyway, Tommy, I'm going to let you go, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling. Thanks
I'll
very much for calling.
Before you go, I'll tell you what. If he's in charge Wednesday night, Leeds are going to put 3 or 4 past us.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and the thing is, I'm starting to get this. I'm starting to think, what's the fucking point? If they don't care, why should we? It's so depressing. But anyway, mate, thanks very much.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers,
Appreciate
Tommy.
it.
Thanks, mate. Right. That went on for much longer than what I anticipated it would. So thank you very much for everyone in the chat. Crazy numbers as well. Really good. I don't know how it was going in the chat. It was going mad. It was just fucking scrolling up. I couldn't keep up with it. So sorry if I missed some comments and stuff like that. I did. I missed most of them. But there was some bloody good calls there. And I feel it's often therapy, these shows where you get people to phone in and I can blow off steam. Sorry I blew my top a little bit earlier on. I was talking bollocks as well. I was talking about Burnley rather than Brentford. But look, it is time for me to go to bed. So thank you very much. If you did enjoy it, like I say, drop a like on the show. And if you're new around here, subscribe. Because we do this quite often. And I'm sure there'll be another If sounds like there's going to be a few more Moyes shows before much longer, so hopefully not. But thank you very much, and I will speak to you. I'll speak to you all again tomorrow, where we're going to be doing our player ratings. All right, probably be an earlier one because it's New Year's Eve, isn't it? New Year's Eve, yeah. So I'm going to be getting on the lash. Right, love you all. Come on, you irons.